are back. I think everybody can hear me. I think everybody can hear you. Welcome back, my friends. How are you?
Yay!
Huzzah!
We're back.
We are back. It's deeply exciting. Hey! Awesome. Thank you for that subscription, Taylor.
Yeah, I guess it has been
It has.
Hasn't
Wow.
I very quietly.
Yeah, that's insane.
We've gone like radio dark here for the month of January at the Philly, and it was very foolish because it was my 1 year anniversary. Our 1 year anniversary. Happy anniversry!
Happy anniversary!
Happy anniversary, Rich.
Is that paper?
I guess. Notice that character sheet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Rich, you're a little robot-y.
Okay.
Might be the music, maybe. I don't know if the music would affect it. I
think
don't know.
it is. I think I'm having
Hype
weird
train.
issues. Okay, bear with me for a second while I try to resolve it, and you guys all can talk. Give me 1 second.
We've never had a hype train on the stream. Not during Dragonfly, I don't think.
Absolutely, it's got to be. It's a blast off, right? It's like a rocket launch.
The modern first year wedding anniversary clocks.
Clocks.
Now you know.
Clogs or clocks?
Clocks, like tick, tick, tick.
Oh.
Although I like clogs.
Clogs.
It's less.
Yeah.
It's less fun.
Like someone
less
would come
fun.
over and just clog your drain. Like
No. I was thinking of traditional
Happy
Dutch
anniversary.
Oh, Dutch-
I was also
traditional
thinking
Dutch
that
shoes.
Yeah.
Oh goodness. Okay. Grace, anything new with you since last we streamed? Any updates for the good of the order?
Dragonfly really unrelated to Dragon. I mean, this lot.
I mean, just anything you want to share with our esteemed viewer.
Not really. The Olympics are on
Great.
right now, Troy.
Oh yeah, they
Yeah.
are. If you want to hear me and Grace talk about the Olympics, let's plug the podcast.
Yeah. Sports for Happa.
The Sports for Happa
Yeah.
on the
Booyah
Rob
was
Has a
on, it was very
Podcast
fun.
Network.
Yeah.
That was great. Taylor, Melissa, Kurt, anything new with you? Anything for the good of the order?
For the good of the order. What?
I don't know.
Order.
I'm sitting here eating with a half bowl of like shrimp scampi in front of me and trying to buy Rich some time. My normal meter is way
If we
off.
wanted to buy him a
Oh
time,
my
we should have
God.
got him a 1 year clock anniversary
Shut
gift.
up. Shut up. I think I'm probably still robot. How's it sound now? Brenna is our like quality control agent out there on the scene. I'm afraid that I am still robot. There's weird stuff going on.
You're
I am.
robot-y.
Yeah. Okay. You guys can all keep talking. This is why I got such a great crew here. I'll be right back.
I can tell you guys
Yeah,
about the.
We can filibuster.
Billy Buster.
No?
I can tell you guys about this horrible raisin thing that I witnessed on TikTok.
Okay.
Very anti-racist.
People are taking hard spaghetti, putting raisins onto the spaghetti, and then boiling it and like eating it like normal spaghetti. And
Like piercing the hard spaghetti
Yeah.
through a raisin and then boiling the spaghetti.
like
I mean,
it's awful. The water
the
turns
taste.
sickly brown. And
Take the taste off the table. That could look kind of neat. And like, oh, how'd you do that? Or why'd you do that?
yeah,
Like,
that's weird. That's the dish. Kurt, you don't remember this? I got kicked out of Top Chef for making the raisin spaghetti dish. They were like, "Pack your knives." They didn't. I didn't even
Yeah,
get
Kurt,
to.
how can you not
I didn't
remember
even get
that?
to. I didn't even get
No.
to plate it. They were like, "No,
That was-
get out."
that was the fastest quick
Yeah, it was
fire
really-
ever. There was no. We see you reaching for the box of raisins. We know what
Yeah,
you're
they
gonna
like,
do.
I was like this
not
close,
gonna
and they
happen.
were like, "Get out." Yeah.
Padma like locked that down. Like
Yeah.
no.
When does Top Chef come back, Kurt?
I believe March.
wow.
It's in Houston, I think.
Right. I can't wait till they go to space.
Yeah.
Top Chef in space?
Oh, Bugbear!
Bug!
Bug!
We love you, Bug.
I'm still very robot, but thank you so much, bud.
Are you?
Okay.
That's hysterical.
Is this just
I
an
got a room
elaborate
up.
NPC you've created, Rich? As a robot
Yes,
NPC?
that is correct. I am your
Oh.
robot NPC.
just
I think it's
ass.
like
It's
really weird
ass.
frequency issues. This is a very specific thing that I've never seen before, and I'm so frustrated. Thank you guys. I'm messing around. Let's see if I can fix it.
It's okay. Would it really be the start of season 2 if we didn't have technical issues?
Nope.
Exactly.
Nope. Absolutely would not.
Also, we've like barely covered, all the various food topics. So.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying.
I'm trying to think of what other food monstrosities I've witnessed recently.
I've been witnessing interesting uses of like custom pasta making machines.
There was the Sporkful podcast. About this time last year, the host had like a 6-part series on trying to invent a new pasta shape, and he goes into all the details on like toothiness and sauceability. Like he has all these criteria for what he wanted to make the ultimate pasta shape, and he ends up actually, spoiler, he ends up going through with it, and you can, I'm not sure, it sold out very quickly. I'm not sure if he's made another batch, but yeah, there's a whole the whole part about the dye that you have to make in order to cut the pasta, and it's amazing.
Wow.
It's actually really cool. If anyone hasn't watched like Ugly Delicious on Netflix, I remember they have the whole pasta episode. There's some really interesting episodes in there where they start to get to like the nuance of different food and stuff. I thought it was really cool.
Okay.
They made that.
Noted.
There's I think at the early April, there's a new show on TBS, Rat in the Kitchen, which is it's like a cooking competition, but there's a saboteur amongst the cast. So it's kind of like the mole
The
meets
mole.
the mole meets Top
That's
Chef.
really fun. Where is it on? What is that? I don't know.
It's going to be like I think I saw it's April 1st,
Okay.
so bear with me. But TBS,
That's fun.
I think it's called Rat in the Kitchen, but it's so that'll be kind of fun to check out.
Okay. Dig it.
I have watched almost no new TV. The only thing I've watched is the Legends of Vox Machina, the 6 episodes that are out so far of the Critical Role animated series, and Olympics. That's just been my life for the last week.
Yeah.
So, like Netflix, who is she? I don't even know her anymore.
Mm-hmm.
And she's increasing her rates.
Yeah.
Oh, is she?
Oh, geez.
Bossy girl.
Wow,
Jump.
good to know.
I finished Archive 81 and
Is it good?
Ozark. Yeah, it is. It is.
We were talking Ozark. I thought Ozark was good.
How about now? I think it's still bad. I changed mics and I'm actually using like real crappy mic and it's still bad. Right. Gosh, this is so
Robot-y.
frustrating. Okay. I'm fighting a good fight. ICR, technically.
It's okay.
It's not like Skype itself, is it? Does it need to be updated or anything? No.
Because it's just Rich, right? It's not the rest of us.
Weird.
Okay. Well, we will keep talking about food.
Yes, we will.
Okay, this got brought up on. So I was rewatching Humble Your, and I was reminded of our whole like Clamato conversation,
Yes.
and I feel like this crowd also needs to weigh in on Caesars in general.
I don't have
I'm not even familiar with the word you just used. Clamato? What?
Clamato.
Yeah.
So it's in Canada we have Clamato juice, which is clam juice in tomato juice. So it's like you use them to make Caesars, which are Bloody Marys with Clamato juice.
Don't
instead
judge,
of-
Taylor. They're so good. Clamato.
And
They
Grace
have-
loves them.
not.
Caesars are
like,
so good.
I am not.
V8 has Clamato juice here as well.
I'm not like a
Okay.
Bloody Mary person. I'm not. I love tomatoes. I don't do like tomato juice. Like,
Yeah, so that's my thing. Is like I'm more against the tomato juice than like the clam of it all.
Yeah, but put them together and it's awful. So
wait, why would you put
No,
those two things
no, it's
together?
so good.
You, you, and then you're telling me you use it to make another drink? Like, no, you've already have. At what point do we just say like, you've done enough? The horse is now
No, it's fine.
sufficiently
I'll
beaten."
drink them all. It's fine.
I,
Clamato juice, vodka,
like-
hot sauce, put some celery salt in there. It's great. You put the rim the glass. It's great. It's so good.
Sorry. Yeah. You
Brenna,
just-
worse than raisins on spaghetti. I don't know. Like
No,
that's,
it's not
that's a
worse.
high bar.
None of you have one. I'm gonna come to all of your cities and I'm gonna order you a Clamato.
I'm sorry.
Caesar.
I live in a part of the world
Clamato.
where we just drink whiskey that has been aged in oak barrels, and that's it. So
There's
it's not
place-
a flex. It's just a limitation.
I was gonna say this sounds pretty highbrow. Troy. It sounds like a flex.
I miss brunch. I miss like going to brunch so much. And there's a place near me that they play folk music, and there's a Caesar make your own Caesar bar, and you have brunch, and I miss it so much.
Oh, that sounds nice.
Yeah.
There's a place up the street from me that on Sundays they only serve brunch all day. So like if you want one of their pizzas, you're out of luck. You can only get your breakfast burrito at 10 p.m. and you're gonna like it. But I remember getting brunch for takeout. And I walk in and there's the Bloody Mary bar with all the fixins, all the accoutrements. But then there was a White Russian bar, which I'd never seen before, and it was like various kinds of cereal and fruit. And so it was almost like
Put in
things
your
you
White
put into,
Russian,
like, a
or just
milkshake.
like in addition to.
Like, I would assume you
Like,
have a
to
White
add
Russian.
into
Oh,
the-
really? Oh,
Yeah.
interesting.
just like the Bloody Mary, like all the like the bacon or the pearl onions that you put into like a Bloody Caesar or a Bloody Mary. This has like, you have the White Russian, but then it has all the things you can like throw into it. And I didn't scope it out as fully as I want to, but I was like, that's interesting. But I think it plays off the fact that it's like a highly cream or milk based drink, and so it was like lots of things you would like potentially add to like a flurry or a milkshake or something like that.
Fascinating. Okay.
Yeah, I have to stay away from those things. I love them. They do not love me. But if I am going to subject myself to the awful, it's going to be for some form of chocolate milkshake or peppermint.
Can I tell you, I'm on the
I'm not even gonna
Caesar.
mess up.
I'm on the Caesar Wikipedia page, and there's a section called variants. And listen to this. It says
The Caesar's already a variant. What are you
it
talking
says
about?
vodka is occasionally replaced with gin, tequila, or rum, though the Clamato may not be substituted. It's on the page.
It's essential.
Inextricably
AOP.
like
Oh my
because
goodness.
otherwise you're having a Bloody Mary. It makes sense. Like you have to have the tomato juice for it to be.
I've also never had a Bloody Mary, so it seems very off to me. I don't get it. But yeah, the shock on the faces. I know. I'm not generally an adventurous eater, but I guess I could become an adventurous drinker come like drink 4 or 5. So
That's
next
fair.
time we get
Yeah.
together, whenever we get together, you'll convince me to drink a Bloody Mary, and I'll
The live
probably
Dragonfly game will be
throw up a little in my
served
mouth.
Bloody Marys.
With
Yeah.
well, yeah, we'll bring the tomato juice across the board.
Oh no! We
All-
are not. I am not. I'm not messing with Clamato at all. None
We
of
will
it.
take stock of
For
all
now.
of the potions in the party and substitute
Yeah.
some sort of beverage.
Yeah.
Oh.
You want to take the potion of healing? You have to drink
Clamato.
Oh,
Clamato the potion.
Oh.
Oh my
amazing.
gosh.
Wouldn't
You
it
don't
be
know what
amazing
it-
if
That's
we
a
like
really
pooled?
fun
If we
variant.
did like
That's fun,
played
yeah.
King's Cup on the Dragonfly, where a little bit of each potion in the middle, and we have to roll to determine which
We
potion
might
takes
have
over.
to, because that at least I could do managing via text. I think that I sound okay now, but I fear that I am off sync. My audio is probably like not syncing with the video, but I think I do sound okay, right?
Thumbs up.
Yeah,
I think,
I think-
a thumbs up.
I think that's right.
I'm getting
a
You're
yes.
good.
Okay,
So this
but
will
says
be
yes.
like an imperfect mess of a recording that will make me nuts, and my OCD will frustrate for years, but we are functional. The boat at least will not sink.
But your OBS is good. That's what
Yeah.
matters.
Yes.
Hey,
Yeah.
Rich. Great
Yes.
is the
I
enemy of
know.
good.
Believe me. I'm trying to kill perfect over here. Just get by, Kurt.
You know what's great? Caesar.
Brenna says you're synced up.
I am synced up.
If you say Clamato juice,
Clamato
Grace,
I said a Caesar. I said a Caesar. Nobody's out
I
here
do
just
think
drinking Clamato, you know?
Yeah, you don't just like we're not nuts.
Yeah.
You drink
Are
it with
there
other
are people who
things.
buy Clamato. Like I can buy it in the store. That's a thing here. It's not just
To
Canadian.
make Caesars,
Yeah.
you don't just drink Clamato though.
I feel like I've had more Clamato than
Wow,
Caesar, though.
really?
I think I've had Clamato. I have. I know that I've had Clamato.
I'm not trying.
It's like straight up.
Sometimes there
Oh
are
my
pre-mixed drinks, aren't there, as well? That are
Like
like
on a
Clamato?
dare?
Mhm.
Yeah.
Like,
There's definitely
I
like
think more out of
different
curiosity.
types. I took a photo once after we talked about it last time of like all
The
of
varieties of
selection at my grocery
clamato.
store.
Yeah, I'm not
Yeah.
trying to front. Like, I
What?
love clams more than anything. And the best part of the clam is the clam juice. Let's get real. You steam those little buggers on a
infuriate,
barbecue. They're delightful. There's juice in there. People love a raw oyster. I mean, like, that's pretty close. I don't think ever bought like a bottle of clamato to like whatever. And it's very fun to like meme on. I mean, clamato just sounds weird, but honestly, I support the clamato love. I do. I'm not gonna front.
Yeah, I've had like a sip of a Bloody Mary that like my mom was having. Like, that's really just not my thing. I'm like very much fruity, sweet.
I normally am
like,
too, but the
all-
Bloody
all the
Mary
way.
is a surprisingly delightful drink. I remember my mom feeding them to me at the Museum of Natural History when I was like 6. Not the whole thing, just sips. I mean, potentially very dysfunctional. I don't know if that, like, you know, if I'm like breaking Twitch terms of service, talking about my severe underage drinking at the Museum of Natural History, but it stands out, you know. Bloody Marys, French onion soup, and dinosaurs. This is like my childhood in a nutshell.
Oh.
I mean,
What a
super-
wild combo.
Hell yeah.
The sad thing is only one of those is dead, and it's not the one I want it to be.
It's too good.
Oh,
right.
gosh.
So we've kind of got a working system here. This is good. That only took 10 minutes. You guys are great. Hello. Welcome back. Yay.
Yay.
New season.
New
Who does?
season, who dis indeed. You guys, I'm very excited. It's been a while since we've played D&D in space. And yeah, I've like severely missed it. I've been playing a good bit of D&D this month, but not enough in space. So I am like ready to get back to the helm of the Dragonfly. Yeah. You guys are clearly all good. We're talking about tomato, clamato, clams, all of it. We're all over the place. I feel like as we're getting fired up, maybe there are people who might like find this episode 1 of season 2 of Dragonfly and be like, who the hell are all you guys? So like, why don't we take a second before we like get anywhere and like let me actually like let us go around and like introduce ourselves and set the stage once again. I am DM Philly. I'm Rich Filiberto. I'm the dungeon master over here. My job is the least important of all those on the ship. I just have to be space. These people are the ones that are actually have to adventure.
Easy.
Yeah. That's the
Oh,
easy
space.
gig.
all
The
of space is
interstitial
time.
Easy, yeah.
It's a supremely easy gig. I'm going to go like right around the horn here. Let's go counterclockwise though, because I hate time. But I'm going to start with you anyway. Melissa Woodward, my dear friend. Why don't you like introduce yourself to people and just tell them who you are playing here in this campaign in space?
Sure. Yeah, I'm Melissa from Vancouver, Canada. I am playing Doc. She is a Changeling Artificer, so she is a pretty blunt, straightforward individual who is, you know, very smart, and that leads to certain problems. She also has a mechanical dragon named Waffle that hangs out with her, and he's the best.
Get the waffles in the
Waffles
chat.
in the
Let's
chat.
do it.
We
Waffles
got
in the
waffles.
chat.
We got waffles for everybody. Melissa, delightful to have you. I'm very excited to see what kind of stuff Doc gets up into here in season 2. Doc is like tough and strong. Waffle, potentially even tougher and stronger. They're a delightful package deal, and I am glad to have them on the ship with us. Taylor, my friend, how about you?
Yeah, I'm Taylor. I hang around here a lot. I'm playing Lux, another changeling who's a ranger, horizon walker. So she's very in love with portals and space, thank goodness. And portals. And
Portals.
she's very loud, excitable, adventurous, very naive in a lot of ways, and Doc's best friend.
Is she Doc's best friend? We just talked about Waffle. Doc is her best friend, but that's a real, this is a real thing there. I'm sorry. I'm just throwing the salt right out there.
Don't you dare make me choose, Rich.
Just me stirring the pot. Don't mind. Don't mind me.
I mean, Lux was the best friend that she didn't have to build herself when she didn't have any other friends.
It's very fair. Very fair.
One of these days, we're going to find out that Doc also built Lux, and that it's just a really good model.
Really good
amazing?
Realized by Doc, is that a thing? So, yeah, for real.
Lux Machina.
Very good. Very good.
That's really good.
Those are our changelings, as it were. But somebody said, Tortle, Kurt Clark, what are you doing down there in the middle?
I am playing Jake, a Tortle Ranger. Specifically, he is a Swarmkeeper. He's accompanied by his own white noise machine, comprised of the Fey swarm that lives within his shell. So he's a big fan of archery, and he's good at getting. I gotta be careful how I phrase this. He's good at squirreling things away. Like it's in. There's other ways I could have phrased that would have been a little more risque, but yeah. So he's a import-export expert.
Called Jake Vandelay.
Yeah. Jake Vandelay.
I love it. I'm glad to have Jake with us here for this journey. Kurt Clark, a regular around here. Grace, how about yourself?
Yeah, Grace. I'm from Toronto. You share pronouns. I play Reya Dewbrook, a nature domain cleric, a Firbolg, who worships a turtle god named Clancy, who once visited the Firbolg planet. Yeah, turtles and portals. That's really good. We gotta figure out how to. That's the episode title.
That could be if we ever rebrand the show.
Yeah, turtles and portals.
It feels like a strong episode title, just waiting to happen, right? I mean, that's where my head's at.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
Season 2, episode 1.
Forget Dungeons & Dragons. Portals and Tortles is the way to go.
Absolutely.
So Reya is rather wise, not that smart, and is on some mission to find whatever it is she needs to find before she can return back home.
Sounds great. Yeah, we love submission. Troy, I feel like you got an awesome camera or something. Your wall looks vibrant. You look like right here in my room with me. It's very delightful.
The lighting I'm still sorting out, but I did get a new camera. Yeah, and I had to do a little color adjust, but
looks great.
Okay, right? So,
yeah, looks great.
Yeah.
Coming to you live. My name is Troy. I'm coming to you live from a room in Louisville, Kentucky, in the United States. It's one of those flyover states that a lot of people talk about. And what am I doing? I use he, him pronouns, and I am playing a character who also uses he, him pronouns. He is a Giff-Q Wizard named Professor Reginald Frybottom. And Giff-Q are an offshoot of the Giff race of hippopotamus folk. So he is quite large and not really in charge, but he does have some arcane abilities that he has built over time. A wizard of war magic, and thinks tactically and is enjoying being on the Dragonfly.
Excellent. These 5 individuals, not even the full crew of the Dragonfly, as it were, but amongst its premier members. And so, yeah, we're delighted to get back to it. For anybody who's wandered in here and is what the heck is this? This is D&D in space, Dragonfly. They're a class of Spelljammer ships from that old, awesome, weird campaign setting that was released back in the late 80s, early 90s, where you played D&D in space. So this is a pretty loose adaptation of those fun old rules. You'll see a lot of stuff that you recognize from Spelljammer along the way if you're an old fan with a love of all that material. We're playing with some Planescape stuff, and then it's a whole bunch of Dungeons and Dragons. We're using the 5th edition rules, because why wouldn't we? They're easy, they're fun, we know them. That's helpful for us playing this game, and that's the gist, right? That's the 101. What else should I explain? Nothing.
I think if someone has tuned in and they're like they've heard all this and they're still somehow like on the fence, if you could just give them a quick old Ben, that should keep them around.
Absolutely. Along with these individuals on their ship is a small and elderly kobold with wings on his back. He was once a shopkeeper on the world of Cerealia, but now he is a premier crew member on the Dragonfly alongside his dearest friends, dear family. And by the twin moons of Cerealia, we will explore space. We will go where no winged kobold has gone. And we will gather the orbs of knowledge. That's
We got
all
him.
dead.
We got him.
Got him.
Hook, line,
You
and
can have
sinker,
now.
baby.
The numbers are shooting up.
We did a little housekeeping, but it all started with the presumption Ben goes nowhere.
Yeah.
Absolutely nowhere.
We were like, okay, so too many NPCs or not? Like,
No.
who could we get rid of? And we're like, well, we can't get rid of
What we
Ben.
discovered in season 1 of Dragonfly is things that you should know before we get started tonight. The crew of the Dragonfly, number 1, hates oppression. Oppression?
Yeah.
That's
Number 2,
yeah.
Oh,
Yep.
I mean,
crew of the Dragonfly loves NPCs.
Taylor loves
Yeah.
NPCs, and she
And we've
creates
all learned. Yeah.
characters that love
Hey,
NPCs.
guys, we're coming along for the ride.
We love them. We just don't try not to take all of them along for the ride through space.
Before we get...
Well,
I mean, we have a whole
We do.
spaceship.
And unfortunately, the spaceship got very full last season, as the Dragonfly is a light fighter class of ships. This is not like a star frigate that these guys are on. They're on a very tiny ship. We have some very cool maps. I want to give a shout out to milbeesmaps.com. You could go check it out, patreon.com/milbeesmaps, MILBYSMAPS. We have a great new map for the Dragonfly, but I'm not going to show it to you now because that will demand that I adjust all my audio again. So you'll see it someday. Good luck. That being said, should we play the Dungeons and the Dragons? Are you guys feeling pretty good about it? Is there anything we need to go over? Is there anything else that I should explain? Probably not. Yeah. And so I think that without further ado, the camera opens on the inky, velvety backdrop of stars, endless in all directions, vague hues of all the colors of the rainbow, dancing, twinkling, and pulsing at their distant locations. And as we pan across this field of microscopic motes of light, veritable suns, were we to be close enough to them, I think the camera shifts and we see kind of cruising into view the Dragonfly, a vessel carving its way through the void of space, through this vast, endless sea of stars, shaped like its namesake, a round kind of canopy at the front of this vessel, 2 large domes like eyes mounted as a windshield on the front. It has a long extension, narrow, protruding off the back of it, like the body and the tail of the Dragonfly, of which it's namesake. 4 wings hover behind it, propelling it, driving it forward. 4 legs tucked up underneath, held parallel to the long extension of the body of the ship behind. And I think a light glows from out of the kind of round glass steel portholes along the length of this strange insect-like vessel. The camera panning around. We see on the upper deck improvements have been made. A safety railing, the infamous ballista in the stowed position, safety on. A couch has been set up there because why the hell not? If you could fly on the deck of your spaceship, why wouldn't you want to lounge and relax? Just in front of this couch, a hatch to the lower quarters. the mast rising up off the upper deck before the ballista, and a massive, thriving tree in a slightly undersized pot. I think we see the small buds of what appear to be flowers glimmering with a kind of red reflection as the camera swoops down, closing in on one of the round portholes on the side of the ship. And as it gets closer, the light kind of blinding us for a moment, the reflection of the stars on the exterior glass before we slip into the ship itself. And we see these 5 individuals in a small lounge. As many repairs, improvements, and upgrades have been made on your vessel since last we saw it. A group of adventurers scouring the realms for knowledge, lost lore, new relationships. The group of you managed to unseat what could only be described as an oppressor over the course of your last months together. And you gathered a great many remnants from his collection, working diligently over the course of this past 4 to 5 weeks or so to improve the capacity of your ship for battle and for living. Most important things that you have come across on your journey. And so as we slip into the cabin, we see Jake and Reya kind of sitting comfortably on this over-large couch in the corner of the room. Doc and Lux on chairs, sitting at a small table, perhaps with tea in front of them. The professor in a larger lounge chair in the corner of the room, with a small kind of shelf out next to him, fluttering in a doorway, the mechanical form of the constructed dragon Waffle. And I say to you, my players, what do we see? Is there a conversation?
My goodness, Doc and Jake, you have outdone yourselves. It's so spacious in here. I can't. Why did we not do this sooner?
Well, we needed the materials. That's why I remember the...
Well, yes, it's a figure of speech, of course, Lux. I just...
Oh, well, I mean...
Is this
I
my
thought it was
way
an
of
actual
expressing
question.
I
gratitude?
did too.
Like we were
I did too.
escaping like the swirling, the swirling debris that was going to hit it. We were running away from Occam, who was trying to kill us. We've been a bit busy. I don't know if you
Yes, of
you
course.
forget.
Of course. I couldn't forget. I just was expressing my appreciation for. Is this not, Jake? Am I alone here? This is wonderful. What has been done here is remarkable.
Yeah, so this thing, it's called a couch. It's very nice. It's great.
I don't know if I can get used to this whole sitting down thing. The shell kind of gets in the way, and it's not very comfortable.
Yeah, we're gonna have to
Make
fix
you,
the
like a
couch.
egg chair or something that
Yeah.
has that
Like a
shape.
stool?
A stool would be
True.
great.
Perhaps something like a hammock. Are you familiar with those?
Yes.
Well, would that suffice?
Oh, I don't mind standing.
Yeah, I have a hard time
But-
sitting too. It's really not.
It was only fair for us to make the main cabin bigger, given how I made the storage area much smaller. But it can hold more. You just can't see it all. So it's actually quite amazing.
Yeah. We're also quite a bit faster now that we're not carrying around the apparatus.
Yes, I'm terribly sorry that we had to part with that, Lux.
It's fine.
Perhaps with some more time you could get over it.
Right. Yes, we definitely got rid of it, and it's definitely not.
I mean, I wouldn't be so mad at that.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. By the way, I added like a safety to the ballista. Reg, I can show you how to use it sometime. if you want.
No, that won't be necessary
thank
at
you for
all.
that, too.
I have no intention of ever using that device again. So, thank you for the consideration. However, it is a moot point.
Okay. I thought
But if
like
you,
maybe
like-
you would want to learn how to shoot it so that you didn't accidentally shoot Jake in the back again.
Yeah.
What
What if you got in a situation where you like had to use it?
I can't imagine a situation where I would be forced to. I will always have some sort of arcane faculties about me, and I believe I was raised to believe that resorting to firearms is simply giving into our most base instincts. It should be something that one could reason or talk or at least spellcast around.
I mean, I guess, but my mom always said to like hope for the best, prepare for the worst. So I think that, maybe you should just consider checking out the safety.
If that's what you want, I certainly am not. I'm not opposed. I simply do not think it is the most important thing.
No. It's just, we
I
all
do
could probably
appreciate-
use a lesson on the safety, though.
Maybe, Doc, you just do a seminar on safety, and a professor is in the area when you do it.
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah. Just like general
Yeah.
vehicle
It's a-
safety.
Just
don't
me?
Don't get blown up. Don't shoot anybody. Don't fall off the ship.
Yeah.
Is that it? Are we done?
That seems straightforward and understandable to me.
Great.
What was the first one?
Don't get blown up.
Don't get blown up. Yeah. Just kind of a general rule. Not that like that wouldn't happen, but it could, and that would be bad.
It's the one that hasn't happened to me. Which is why
And we're gonna
Which
keep it
seems
that
like
way.
it's the most likely to come next, right? So that's
No.
why I'm warning against it now.
Which makes me wonder what you know.
No turtles will be blown up on my
No. Nobody's gonna be blown up at all. We're gonna be fine.
Well, that's not on me, though.
Yes.
I can't commit.
It has been a good rest here at Aether Station. We've been able to recover our faculties and obviously make the best of it all. I would be remiss if I didn't say I feel about ready to get back out into the stars.
Yeah.
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 And I'm happy to have left that place behind.
Old Ben, once a shopkeeper on the planet of Cerelia in the city of Huerocto, he brought with him a multitude of maps upon joining you here on the crew of the Dragonfly. And you've spent much of the time that you had in these last weeks assessing them, piecing them together, reconstructing what you can. As in the distant past, there was across the realms of known space an effort to consolidate the known information from the multitude of worlds. As space travel first became accessible to the people, it was brought to these various planets by a group of explorers known as the First, sometimes called the Five. And as they traveled in their wake, they left with them the seeds of knowledge for others to build these ships and go out to explore this vast and incomprehensibly large kind of myriad of worlds. But as centuries stretched into millennia, this effort to consolidate knowledge, to raise a great library that was driven by a peace council, it was called once upon a time, was shattered. Rebels from 23 separate planets allied together, striking at this repository of knowledge and destroying it. And so you have been to this place, the Decidium Spiral, an asteroid cluster that is the remnants of this world shattered by this attack thousands of years ago, perhaps. And in your journey there, you collected an orb. For once, when this effort was underway, the orbs were determined and created as receptacles of knowledge. They hold all manner of information that they can exchange and kind of present to the users. And so, as you've been traveling, you've sought out remnants of these old orbs, finding one in particular of great note. The Accumulating Shadow Chronicle, as it was designated. An orb that you discovered is in fact sentient. A sphere smaller than a bowling ball, about the size perhaps of a grapefruit, seemingly made of completely smooth glass with a strange kind of purplish shadowy smoke ever rolling within it, upon which it activated. An eye appeared in this kind of cloud of smoke from the inside, and it began speaking with all of you, asking one of you to bond with it so that it could enhance further function. But I think that as we sit, we kind of see the maps like sprawled out across like the coffee table, as it were, and I think that we see like in the doorway to the hall, floating by this like purplish orb, and it stops, kind of turning like into the room, the slitted pupil amidst the shadowy smoke, like a single eye unlidded and without a body peering into the room. Like,
I'm just imagining this taking place like in that 17-minute lull where conversation just naturally stops, and then all eyes turn to the orb.
Just passes by.
I think it like peers into the room, and it's just like, hello. I thought that I would wish you all good morning. I am trying to develop more friendly protocols to ease your concerns about my presence here.
Yeah, that's great, Ask. Thank you. That's appreciated. You didn't say anything like creepy. That was like not too bad.
But the tone in which you speak, I don't know if you can modulate that.
I cannot, but I have, in fact, established enough information to understand that is a potentially insulting request that you would not make to an organic life form. Nonetheless, I acknowledge my interface is unpleasant.
I mean, I would tell people their tone was off all the time. Are we not supposed to tell each other that? I think that's fine.
Not really, Doc.
Oh. But like, if someone's being sarcastic, you can't tell them they're being sarcastic. Or like,
Well,
I don't know. People tell me that my tone is really, awful.
really depends on the person, your like level of comfortability with them, and like. So Ask, really, it's just a sign that we're like becoming better friends with you. That Doc was able to say that to you.
Well, I would
Or
not
that
go
Jake was able to say
so
that.
far as to say.
Well, just.
I
simply do not.
I will allow you your privacy with the implicit understanding that I can in fact hear everything which occurs on this ship. Good afternoon.
Yep. I think you remind us of that at least once a day. Thanks.
Yeah, maybe remind us a bit less, actually.
I will attempt to allow that information to melt into the background. Good afternoon. And I think the orb like just continues floating away.
Did he say good morning and
Yes.
good afternoon in the same?
Yeah.
What is time and space?
Time is a
Really
flat
been there, done that. You know what I'm saying?
Ben, I must ask once again, and yes, I'm aware that Ask can hear us. You remember what I told you? Ben, you remember what you are not supposed to do when you are alone?
Oh yeah,
with-
I think we hear some like rustling from the other room. There's a bunch of like hammocks that have been strung in like this back cabin off this lounge you're sitting in, and I think you hear, "What's that? Are you talking to me?" Yeah, and Ben like I think like kind of wanders into the doorway. Waffle kind of like fluttering up above him, and he's like, You've told me a lot of things, Professor. I'm not entirely sure which one we're talking about right now.
It's about goodness, choosing, not accepting every offer of bonding that is made available to you from sentient orbs.
Yeah, don't bond with the orb. That's it. I don't know. We don't need to don't. It's gonna ask you to bond with it.
It has asked. I've turned it down. How do you think I feel being the last one on the list? I mean, it asked Sharp Jumper before it got to me. I feel like probably.
It has Sharp Jumper before this.
Yeah, really.
It also just outright insulted me when.
Yeah, by the way.
Jake.
It's got bad taste.
Well, I haven't tasted it yet, but I'll try not to put it in my mouth either. I'm gonna go upstairs and get breakfast started. Good evening.
That's great.
Thank you.
Wonderful.
Good evening. What time is?
Who knows? We're in space.
I don't know, but we're eating breakfast regardless.
Mid-morning at best.
Brunch.
Oh, okay, I love.
Look,
Brunch and a good Caesar. It's great.
we've had some discussion, but I wasn't certain we were all in agreement about where we were going.
To the Bard of the Blossoms.
The
Right?
Bard of the Blossoms. Yes.
Isn't that a person?
Yes.
How do we know how to find them?
Well, we gotta just kind of go look for him, I guess. We gotta find a Ferris. A forest.
I could send him a message.
Oh. Ferris was the one from Huiroto, yes?
The Tiefling, yeah. A Ferris the Wizard. He was on the Princess of the Night, question mark?
Yeah, I was gonna say, so I remember exactly who a Ferris is, but if there is anybody who doesn't, what do we?
For the folks who don't.
That's a great trick you've learned. You learned that.
Yeah. Where could I have learned that bit from?
Yeah, that's a good one.
Did we leave things on good terms with the Ferris?
Yeah.
It's been so
Great
long.
terms. Great terms, yeah, actually.
We talked to him, and then we went back to the ship, and he was like, "Come find me later." And we literally found him like an hour later.
Yeah.
So
We went back, and he was like,
Yeah.
"Didn't mean quite this bad."
Yeah.
so we, other than that slight social miscue, it's great.
Yeah, we went out and
Because of
drinks
how
with him. It was
eager
great.
we were to be his friend.
Yeah.
I forgot about that.
Now it's kind of been maybe too long since we've talked to him. So
Maybe. Well, I mean, I don't know. If he's wizened, like, I feel like it's fine.
I mean, one can name themselves whatever they choose. Just because he says he's the wizard doesn't mean it's a title that he's earned.
Well, I trust him.
Yeah, you can have any name you want in space.
Exactly.
that's.
I feel like, I don't know, he seemed pretty wise. His, like, dwarf friend was pretty awful, though.
Yeah, he sucks.
And the notion, as you explained this to me, was that if we find a Ferris, we could find a Bard of the Blossoms and share the stories of our travels more. Is that the idea?
Well,
Sounds like someone who tells stories a lot could be pretty useful and updated in an orb.
yeah, finding some orbs.
Finding more orbs. Now
Yeah.
that would be interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I could send them a message. The problem is, after a while, it sounds like they never get the end of my messages, so we just have to be very careful about what we say.
Okay.
Maybe don't say good morning, we just jump right into it.
Just jump right into it. Okay.
Yeah.
Fair enough.
No pleasantries.
No.
All business.
Some,
This is
you
a
could say
new
one
Reya. I like it.
Oh, you do have to save some words for praise Clancy. Make sure I have a pamphlet for you if you need one. That takes up most of the messages.
Yeah.
So, very limited.
Can we stick with
no,
just?
for sure.
Could you just praise Clancy?
Sometimes if you say PC, people know it.
But is that 2 words or 1?
I don't know.
Does
I
it
don't- I've
matter?
never
Is it a
tested it.
time limit sort of thing? Should you speak very quickly or?
I don't
Yeah,
think
you should
we
get
can
Lux to
quicker.
send the message then, if it's
Yeah.
how fast you
If you're looking at how to structure the message, you want to make sure that it's business in the front. Business in the front.
Sending water.
and just take it from there.
I think
Okay.
If there's any pleasantries or a party, that would be towards that.
Aferis is his name, not a party.
Yeah, his name is Aferis Mario.
What?
Oh.
Yeah.
I'm sure when he writes back, he'll go,
it's me, Mario.
But listen, but wait. He was really like self-conscious about it when we talked to him. We didn't.
yeah. Well,
To be fair, if my family name was in fact Mario, I would pick a name like Aferis. It does distract the ear, pull some attention away. Where I grew up, names are a combination of the parents, so you can very quickly get out of a bad name in your lineage just by marrying the correct person.
Oh.
And that's why you would marry someone, is because they had the right name?
Oh, goodness, no. I can't imagine him marrying anyone at this point. But yes, some people are thoughtful about how they choose a name. My father, with the name Wigglebottom, was obviously not at the top of the list. My mother did have to make some sacrifices, but their love was enduring and worthwhile.
Wait, what was your mom's name then?
Fry.
Just
thus,
That's
just
easy. That's easy.
Yes.
Okay.
Eustace was her given name. Is her given name.
if Reg, if we got married, we could be our kid could be dew bottom, which sounds like what happens when you sit down in a in the chair is wet.
And that's why I don't.
Lex and I don't have last names.
Yeah, Doc and I don't even have to worry about it. It's very easy.
Really?
Yeah.
You
Yeah.
don't have family names.
Nope.
I should
That-
know
that's-
this by now, but I simply don't remember certain things.
And I don't know if you guys actually like picked up on this or if I mentioned it. Remember how I said we're in the Tam Fey Guild?
Mhm.
Yeah, that lie you told that time.
That's not a lie. Like we can still have a guild. Like I just made it in that very moment.
Is that all it takes to have a guild? It's
I
just
think
like
you
say
guys
we're a
hear an
guild.
echo
Yeah,
through
I
the
know.
ship from upstairs of
talking
like,
about?
no.
If you don't have last names, how do you have middle names?
What? You don't have
I
middle
don't think
names.
we don't have those either.
Oh, yeah, that makes sense. I just wondered how you put it in the middle if you don't have a last name.
So I was gonna say my mom's name is Faye and my dad's name is Tam.
Oh.
And so I just put them together and
That makes sense.
I think
Like a
it's like
Giff-Q.
right here, actually, that as you guys are all sitting, I think the camera starts to like fade. The scene starts to like fade in front of us. And I think that we see, like, as we fade to black at the bottom of the screen, just like one word, before. And as the scene starts to like kind of come back into clarity, we see a port by the ocean. Portals and tortles. A tort. I love a tort. Yeah. A tort.
Torts and ports.
We see,
our
we
legal
see,
show.
That's very good.
It's for
by the way.
your sea lawyers.
I'm just like
right?
thinking of like tasty desserts.
Share a cute story.
I
Torts
think
and
that
ports.
we see this word at the bottom of the screen before, as the camera comes into focus on this bustling port city. How about there are people like moving all about. I think that we can see the ocean in the distance, the camera like pitching down at an angle, the ocean like kind of sprawling away from the port itself, the docks like pushing out into the water, an array of kind of small, the docks, no waffles, an array of like small fishing boats kind of bobbing. Exactly.
Reya?
Professor?
It's a word search. It's a word search. Pay attention for Reginald.
And
It's in there somewhere.
It's the gate within the game.
game within a game. Oh my god.
Oh, sorry, Rich. You're trying to like.
Really?
set
Yeah, good luck
scenes
getting
and
through
stuff.
As I'm now like I'm just like reaching for it. I've like paralyzed myself trying to find out how to fit Reginald in there.
You are incredulous? No, okay. Good. Yeah.
There we go.
Oh, dude, I missed this show.
Happy new season, folks.
Happy new show.
We've missed each other. We have the giggles.
Yeah.
It'll
Fun to
happen.
hang out.
And so as like the camera like pans over this city, we see the sign for deluxe hot dogs, and we kind of close down and as we see a pair. we see a pair of older looking folks of changelings, as it were. I think one maybe distinctly a little more feminine and one masculine. And they are kind of standing on this big stone pad. Behind them, a massive vessel that has landed in the middle of this yard. For those uninformed, they might think that it's a sailing ship with work being done brought up out of the water. But I think that along the sides, folded in, are these kind of massive articulated wings that are closed up next to it. The like reflective material of the sails visible as the sunlight reflects off of them. This being like one of the great trade vessels that makes its way through the stars, as it were. And so as we take in this pair of changelings, I think like one is like turning to the other, like, I hear that she's repairing an old Dragonfly class ship, Faye. I've seen some words of those kind of things before, but I can't imagine actually getting a look at something like that. And the like woman is kind of responding back. She turns, like gazing up away from this massive ship and the city that's kind of sprawling around her. And we follow, the camera follows her gaze as we see like a hillside some miles outside kind of the city proper. And on this hill, we could just kind of make out what looks like this large, sprawling, like kind of estate up there. Just like barely like see it in the distance, right? And I believe the woman is like turning back to him like, I've not heard of a Dragonfly class before. Is that a thing? Where? And I think he's like, Axel had those old books. I remember seeing it, a picture of it. Looks just like the insects jumping from the lily pads over the ponds. You remember, certainly. And it's kind of like at this point that we like catch sight of Lux like coming down the ramp off this ship behind. You've probably like, you're carrying all your gear, and as you come like striding up to your parents, having just landed here on Homeworld some time ago, they kind of like turn like, how are you? Are you muted? You're muted, Taylor. No, really, you should talk to us. We know it's been a long journey, but we've landed. You could release yourself from your vow of silence now.
There's no way Lux is quiet at all, so it's very uncharacteristic. Yeah, I also think like Lux is like, at this point, she has like really like, everybody's used to her kind of like longer red hair in her like half belt form, but I think she has like this really short, like kind of almost spiky like red hair. It's just a mess on top of her head that's like really bouncy with all of her stuff. It's like really bouncy. But yeah, I'm great. What did you guys talk about?
And I think that your mother Faye is like, your father is saying that the woman Yavanna, she's called, she's the leader of this place. She has no title per se, but they all seem to defer to her. Apparently she's working on a ship. She's trying to build a small craft. Do you know why? And I think that Tam kind of like shrugs like, not entirely, but who could blame her? I mean, imagine getting your hands on a relic like that from the old age. And, I mean,
Wait, what is it?
And I think he like turns looking back at you like, I don't know if you remember, Axel had books, some old pictures from before, but I believe it's called a Dragonfly.
Are you serious?
And I think that it's at this point, there's like a dwarf kind of like, he's like, comes down the ramp behind you, Lux, and he's like, he's got like a pack over his shoulder, and he's just like, good to be home. And as he like hears the pair of you talking about it, is like, you say that's Yavanna? She's a good woman. Takes care of the folk around here. Really, this place built up because of her influence. She seemed to give people purpose, a reason for doing. She's good enough. I'm sure whatever her reasons for putting something like that together, it's a noble one. Thought it was too good to be true when I first showed up here. But I'm glad to live on Homeworld now. It's been a good flight. You take care. And he like turns, kind of striding away. And then I think he like stops looking back at you, and he's like, that's her right there, actually. And he points. And I think that you see this woman, and she's wearing like this long gown. It's kind of like sleeveless. It's almost like a toga, right? She's got like around her waist a belt that appears to be made of like these bronze kind of links of chain closed around her. And as this dwarf like kind of points, we see this woman, and she's got this tussle of kind of like wild, like curly hair falling down around her shoulders, a very kind of regal visage. She stands like quite tall, in fact, and she is in fact speaking as you are standing there looking at her, Lux, with a Tortle. I don't know if you've ever seen a Tortle before. You might have seen Tortles in space, but there's a Tortle in front of her. This kind of like yellow lines trailing down his arms, this massive shell. You could see like a bundle down at the ground kind of next to him. And so I think that the like camera like moving in closer on the scene. Jake, you have, in fact, it is. Jake, you have made a way for yourself on Homeworld, moving goods surreptitiously. Syrup. And I think that you would have known this woman Yavanna as like this kind of leader, this entrepreneur, this central figure in like the local economy and like everything that kind of happens here. She lives in this kind of mansion on the hill. She seems to have like endless resources, is always hiring people to do things that seem to like spiral off into their own things. And I think that she has like tracked you down as you've like made landfall here in the port today. And she's standing with you, like, she's approached you, and she's like, you are the one known as Jake.
Yes.
And she's like,
I am Jake.
Pleasure to meet you. It is a great pleasure, actually. And she, like, offers her hand out to you, like, I've heard of you.
Good things?
From my
Don't answer that. I've heard of you as well, and I believe there might be a mutually beneficial arrangement we could make.
Oh. I'm very glad to hear you say that, actually.
Help me, help you, help me.
I have a little project that I've been working on. I know.
Is it here or
And I think
elsewhere?
she kind of looks past you a little bit up to this like place on the hill, and she's like, it's here in the grandest sense, but really there at my home. I have found something very old. I collect old things, from the distant worlds. I like to think preserving them has some value.
Distant worlds meaning...
Yeah, and I think that she just gestures up, and she's like, the world's beyond ours.
Let us talk.
I understand that you're somebody who is quite skilled at concealing things that one might not wish to be found.
Yes. His mouth. He hit the gas break.
I will speak clearly to you, Jake. I have found a ship with the potential to go beyond this world.
Off this world, like not here.
To the sky. To the... No.
Yeah, but not here. I'm most interested in not being here. And he looks at where he would have a watch normally, and then
she's like,
scans around, kind of like.
And I think that we do, in fact, have something beneficial to discuss. Come and meet me at my home when you're ready. I'll be up there by this evening, and
he stands there.
And she's like,
does she walk up to her home,
like,
or does she like
ready now?
Yo, yeah.
And I think she like glances back up, and she's like, if you
prefer I come back,
and I think
can
she shakes
do
her head.
that.
And it's like, why don't you make your way? I have some other things to take care of, but we'll talk.
I will go up the hill.
And as we see like the Tortle kind of walking away as the scene like pitches back to these three changelings kind of standing in front of this vast ship. And Lux, you see this woman having like talked to the Tortle, and he's like walking away. And I think your parents are like both like they're glancing at her, and they're just like chattering back and forth to each other excitedly, like you have to wonder what she plans to do with it. And your mother like I can't be sure, but she does have quite the reputation here. Yeah.
Okay, I think Lux is like listening and like, well, I mean, can we just go talk to her about it? Like she's right
And
there.
I think they're like, we could, yes, but
She was nice, like.
And I think it's at this point somebody calls off the ship like, Tam, we need a hand. One of the stabilizers that got knocked loose on the descent. If you could make your way up. And I think he's like, and your mother, Faye, is like, well, I should help. And they kind of like glance over to Yavanna, and you see this human up on the deck of the ship like, I hate to bother you. I know we've just landed, but really, Captain wants it fixed before I'm allowed to disembark. And they're like, yes, all right. And so they kind of like look back at you a little exasperated and kind of shrug like, work needs doing. And they start making their way back on the ship.
Yeah, I think Lux then like just like pivots like and looks to Yavanna. And just is gonna make her way over.
And I think it's this woman's like kind of like walking decisively towards like some like building past you. She sees you coming and kind of slows a little bit, like tilting her head, like hello.
Hi, I'm Lux.
Very nice to meet you. I'm Yavanna.
Yeah. Listen. So my parents back there, Tam and Faye, Peregrine.
Yes, Peregrine's a good ship. I can't say that for all that land in the berth, but...
So I just was wondering, I don't know, like, if this is, like, not information you're talking about openly, but I just figured I'd ask because you're here and people said that you were really nice. And, are you, like, working on, like, an old ship?
And I think she glances to the Peregrine and then back at you like, you're not from here, are you? Of course not. Yes, I am. Why?
Well, you know, my parents kind of got their thing, and listen, I know the best mechanic in the galaxy.
Those are very big words.
Yeah.
The best, huh?
I mean it. The best. Yeah. And I'm like a bit, I mean, my parents say I'm still in training, but I'm a pretty good pilot.
Wait,
and,
you didn't mean
got a
you
good
then?
eye
You're not the
for
best
stars.
mechanic? I thought that this was a lead-in, that you were saying that you were the best mechanic in the galaxy. That's not...
No, not me. No. Not me. I'm really good with the flying and the seeing of things. But my best friend, she's a great mechanic. And I don't know if you're like looking for anybody, but just saying.
Are you volunteering your best friend to come and help me repair this old thing that I've got my hands on?
I'm just saying, if you happen to be looking for people to take care of this ancient relic that I have read books about, and so has my best friend, we might be able to help you.
And you're a pilot. You can fly?
Yep.
And you've been off-world your whole life?
Wait a bit. Yeah.
Go find your friend. That's my home up on the hill. Perhaps we might have something there. I can at least see.
Cool.
Well, I can at least see.
Hey, all you need is a chance, right?
I suppose that's how
No.
many great careers start for many people. Someone must take a chance.
Yeah.
You take many chances, Lux?
I try to. What's life without a little, risk?
Go find your friend. We'll talk.
Thanks. It is nice to meet you.
Yes, you as well. I look forward to seeing you again.
And I think Lux just runs off, and shouts as she passes by the peregrine again. She yells loudly Mom, Dad, I'll be right back.
And I think as we see the one changeling kind of darting off, the camera following this tall woman as she walks, she makes her way to an inn, as it were, stepping into this large kind of common room where there are tables all about, a bar, patrons sitting at it, the sounds of conversation, chuckling kind of filling the room, and she scans through the place, stopping as her eyes fall on one large individual sitting at a table alone, likely with the book in front of him, perhaps, as she turns and begins striding over towards you, Professor. You see this tall, regal woman enter the space, and she glances towards the bar, and we see the barkeep, this human man with bald hair and a tattoo kind of running down the side of his face. He just nods at her, and she nods back, striding towards the table as she's approaching, just Professor Reginald Frybottom, I presume.
Oh, yes. Hello. Good evening. You must be. You must be Yanna.
Yanna?
Yes. I hope.
I am. Yes. Excellent to finally meet you. I think she glances down, working on another puzzle.
No, I was simply reading historical accounts of ancient wars of the great general Heinrich von Helsenstein. He was known for saying that risk should only be taken when it is absolutely necessary. It's one of the most fundamental texts in the. I'm sorry. I'm babbling. Thank you so much for bringing me here. It is a delight to see another world.
I am very welcome you here to Homeworld. We have people from all walks, all realms, really. It's a unique place from what I understand these days. We do not have many Giff-Q here, though, which is why I'm very pleased to make your acquaintance.
Oh, yes, I'm very pleased to make yours as well. The Giff-Q, our reach has not come this far. We are still a small seedling, really, growing our own way. But the opportunity to come to Homeworld and to have won the contest, or perhaps I'm a finalist, I'm not quite certain.
Oh no, Professor. You have won. You were the only one to even come close, as a matter of point.
Truly?
I sent the... Well, I don't want to call it a test. But it was. To a number of places. But I was very hopeful that somebody from Cassandre might be able to unravel the puzzle as it was presented. I was shocked that it happened so quickly, if I can be honest.
Well, I did have a bit more time on my hands than normal, perhaps. And I do love a good puzzle. My thesis was, in fact, on cryptography and cryptology, and its uses in tactical combat and other diplomatic missions, so perhaps I had a leg up on the competition, what little there may have been.
Well, I'm not sure how much you know already, but...
I know a reasonable amount about a lot of things, but...
I specifically
you
meant
mean about why I'm here?
Yes. I am certainly glad to welcome you to Homeworld, and you are welcome to stay, explore, for as long as you like. We are honored to have your presence here, but in fact, I had ulterior motives, and they do involve some risk, I'm afraid to say.
Well,
would you like to know more?
Yes, information is a stepping stone toward good decision-making.
I think, meanwhile, like, the camera kind of, like, moving around her, she kind of, like, glances down, like, may I sit?
Yes, I apologize. Where are my manners? I would offer you tea, but it appears that they do not serve it here at this establishment.
No, this is the wrong establishment for tea, but perhaps I can accommodate your needs. Maybe after this conversation. We'll see. And I think as she pulls the chair out, and the camera's kind of like sweeping around, right, this panoramic, we're seeing all these different people in the room, a group of halflings like throwing dice at a table, a dwarf like sitting with an elf at the bar drinking, a big like heavy dragonborn kind of like throwing a pack over his shoulder as he's like paying the kind of innkeep and heading out the front door. And I think that we catch sight of a Firbolg, like a tall Firbolg woman sitting at a table in the corner probably of this room. I don't know how like exposed, Reya, any of your regalia is, if we see any notable things marking Clancy.
Yeah, probably. Mm-hmm. Yeah, a necklace, vestments. Yeah.
So I think you're a couple of tables away from what you expect to be this GIF, and you probably are able to overhear some of this conversation. Like, you hear this conversation about the Giff-Q and being a small group, Cassandre, and so this woman sits down at the table with this fellow, and she just says to you, Professor, she kind of leans forward, glancing around. And she sees you kind of like glancing over Reya and nods a little bit and turning, like looking back to you, Professor, is like, the fact of the matter is, Reginald, I have very specific needs. I have sought to establish something here in Homeworld. Something lasting and enduring. Something that will impact those who come after us positively. Frankly, leave it better than it was when we found it.
My goodness, I cannot believe that you are asking me to create a university here on
No.
this. No, no, I should not believe that because it is a misinterpretation of what you are saying.
Perhaps when you are done with what I ask first. But I found something
Yes.
ancient. A ship. Not one that sails on waves, rivers. A ship like the one that brought you here, but smaller, more nimble, more agile, with greater potential. Something from the olden days, from the times before, when there were those in the galaxy who would gather information, who would create universities for all. It's called the Dragonfly, and I'm assembling individuals to crew it, to take it off of this world, to search for what's been lost. And you are the most qualified individual on perhaps 23 worlds to serve as a member of this crew.
Goodness. Thank you. Perhaps. How small of a ship? It was my first time, and it was. I thought we'd stop at the eastern.
Once the stars were filled with vessels of explorers, adventurers, those who traveled for the sake of it, to learn, to see, to unearth the hidden, discover the lost. But now, well, as impressive as they are, every ship that lands in Homeworld either carries trade or soldiers. And that is it. Wonders dying in the stars, Professor.
It is much the same. Where I am, seems that using curiosity as your compass is something left in the past in many people's minds. And he's not as well respected or appreciated as some of us would
But
hope.
you have a very curious mind, the kind that could unravel a very complicated puzzle very quickly. And that is the kind of mind that I would send back out into the world, into the stars, into the other worlds that have been lost. The trade...
If I
Please.
may, I apologize, but if my role is to unravel the puzzle, I can't help but notice one before us here. Have you noticed that person has not stopped staring at us from the moment you...
She turns glancing over, like nodding, like, Are you staring at us, miss?
Yeah, staring. Yeah. Yep, definitely.
I think she chuckles and is like, well, at least she's honest. Like looking over at you.
Would you... My name is Professor Reginald Frybottom. To whom do I have the acquaintance?
Yeah, you don't have to yell. I'll just come over. It's Reya. Grab my stuff and come and just sit at the table.
That she's like, well, that's Firbolg. Reya. There are too few of your kin and kind here. It's always a pleasure to see you.
Yeah, they don't really leave the planet that much these days, you know. So, yeah, like people, I'm staring mostly because people most stare a lot at me. You know, it's pretty tall. So.
Yes.
You are from Pavis?
Oh yeah.
Goodness. That
Yeah,
is.
came pretty far. Yeah.
You've come quite a ways.
It's quite a ways indeed.
You were talking about a ship?
That's right. The professor here has, well, a job opportunity presented to him. I would like for him to stand as part of the crew. I'm sending a small vessel off-world.
Are there any other jobs? I have no money, so a job would just be great.
And I think she looks down at the symbol of Clancy right at the necklace, and she's just like, please forgive me. I had just presumed that you were here as a missionary to spread the word. Are you looking to leave Homeworld?
You know, I came. I've seen, a fair bit of it. I think, could, other planets could use hearing about the word of Clancy, Can do some healing, too. If this guy gets in a fight, I could heal him right up, so. You don't look like much of a fighter, sorry.
I am not. Well,
See?
Well, disguised. I apologize. Clancy?
Yeah, Clancy. Turtle God. Yeah. Saved our whole people. Yeah. It's great. Oh, I taps and digs around in her thing and then pulls out a nice
They
pamphlet.
always have pamphlets.
Flies
Yes,
over.
it's very helpful.
Yeah. Just you don't have to say everything. They could just read it.
For those that can read, yes. I can read.
Oh.
I have a book.
Also can read.
Could have been pretending.
I think she says, well, I'm very pleased to meet you, Reya. I may have work for you, perhaps. Consider my offer, Professor. My home is up on the hill. Very easy to find. You can get a carriage or a ride up there if you wish, but consider it. Come and meet me, and perhaps I could show it to you yourself if you would like to see it.
Can I ask one more
Of
question?
course.
And it's not something I really considered until our new friend sat here. How dangerous is this mission?
As I said, there's risk involved. I would send you to the great unknown. I cannot be sure what you will find, who you will meet, who may try to take this thing from you. But I know that you are studied in the ways of battle. I know that your mind is sharp. And that being said, you would be well positioned to defend this thing and to keep safe those who might join you on this endeavor. And I cannot ensure that it will be safe.
But it would be good to have someone who could help
And I think
keep us alive.
she
Okay, got
glances
it.
back
Okay,
to
yes.
Reya like,
Clancy.
He's just kind of like flipping, like trying to read the pamphlet, but it just like makes no sense to him. Good then, I will see you in the evening.
excellent. And I think she's like looking at you hesitant, Reya, like glancing down at the pendant and then like, this might be against all of my better judgment. There is potentially a Tortle signed on to the crew. No, I'm Yavanna, but it's a common mix-up.
Sorry. Kitten is
Kitten was my sister.
Well, now I have to go on the ship. I'll go for free now. You don't even have to pay me.
You're hired. My house is on the hill. I think she's like, my house is up on the hill.
I had to solve an intergalactic contest in order to get into. This is remarkable. Well done.
I'm sorry to be so quick.
Yes.
I have a few errands to attend to here today, but come to the house. We will discuss more. I could show you what lies before you. And I think with that, she rises and leaves this inn. The camera kind of like lingering on the two of you, maybe like awkwardly looking at each other for a moment as like she comes striding back out. And so, yeah, Lux, you have run down your friend on the ship. Okay.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah. Is there like, yeah.
Is that's where Doc would be, right?
We're talk
Yeah,
to me, Melissa. Frame me up.
Yeah, so I think Lux would know where to find Doc, and it's this pretty like remote, kind of cavernous home on Homeworld, and so Lux probably borrowed some sort of vehicle to get out there and managed to, and I think that like as Lux is walking in, I'm wondering if Lux might want to roll a dex save for me.
I love this. Get yourself a party of dungeon masters, my friends. This is the
Oh
good
my
stuff.
gosh, D&D rolling dice? What are we doing?
Oh, pitiful.
Excellent.
A 10. I have such a good
What happens to her, Doc?
And so
God damn it.
the moment that Lux walks in, the magical snare that was at the entrance of the closes around her feet and then strings her up by her feet into the air.
Oh, Doc! Doc, it's me! Let me down! Doc!
And so then I think the first thing before you hear like shouting from the back is a mechanical dragon that you've never seen before comes whistling out from the back and starts like making beeps and squeaks and like flying around you.
Hello? Doc!
What is it, Waffle? Who? What? Hello?
Waffle?
You?
It's me, Doc. It's Lux. It's me, Doc. I'm back.
Lux?
Yes. Ellie,
Wait,
get me down.
how do I know it's really you?
Well, why don't you come see?
So Doc will come out and like stand there looking skeptically.
Here, ready, watch this. And Lux, like, her short hair, like, becomes, like, longer. Like, it's me. Hello. It's me. Will you let me down?
Waffle.
Cut her down, Waffle.
Oh, like defensively.
If it's really Lux, it's fine. She
Yeah,
can be here.
Waffle's
You're
tail
okay.
slashes and the rope cuts and you fall. Lux like right. I think like in the distance in the background we just see the dust cloud of like the wagon that brought you up like racing the hell back out of you, like fully like abandoned you as you end up like trapped by this thing. Yeah.
Sheesh. Who is that? And Lux, like, follows, like, Waffle.
It's Waffle.
Oh.
You know,
Did you make
it's pretty
it?
cool.
Did you make it? Yeah. See,
Yeah.
like I said, best mechanic ever. Listen. So, I know that you've been, like, in here for a little bit. And, well, so do you know Yavanna? Her,
No.
Well, I didn't either, so it's fine. She's like, apparently like a leader in the community or something like that. But she's.
I don't go to the community.
Yeah,
I don't like those people.
That's fair. Listen, do you remember the Dragonfly ships in the books?
Yeah. Hold on a second. You can come in. And Doc is gonna like run and start like throwing things everywhere, and like books are like flying and whatever as she like digs out one of the old books.
Yeah, Lux like follows eagerly.
Yeah. Oh gosh, we read this one a lot. Why did we read this? We were weird children.
So cool! Are you kidding me? Look at that thing.
Yeah. Okay.
Yanna is restoring a dragonfly ship.
Okay.
And she needs a crew for said ship. And I thought that you and me could get on the ship.
Because we're a crew?
I mean, we're kind of like the best. Like, I know a lot of stuff about stars and about flying, and you're the best mechanic ever.
Yeah, you do. You should do that. That would be great.
No, you
would probably have a lot of fun.
You have to come with me, though.
Why?
Because you're the best mechanic ever. And you know all about this stuff.
Probably.
You literally just, look at the book in your hand that you just picked up. You know this stuff. Better than probably anybody in the galaxy.
Probably. But this is, I live here. This is like...
You can still, like, live here,
Yeah.
but you just are going to go away for a little while and go on a ship. Like we used to do.
Yeah.
It would be pretty fun. And it would be just us, and we wouldn't have to worry about my parents.
Yeah, they're nice and all, but they're a bit...
I love that. That's
Clingy?
part of the pitch.
So like just us?
Well,
Just,
probably
like-
not just us. It's going to take more than just 2 people to fly a dragonfly ship, but I don't know who else. So we can make friends?
You had me until...
Well, we can
other
forget about
people.
that part. That's not the important part. The important part is that we get to be a part of a crew on a dragonfly ship.
I would like to see that. That would
Exactly.
be cool.
All we gotta do is see. Ivana's, we're gonna meet at her house this evening. So we should probably actually get headed back.
Okay. Yeah, okay.
And Waffle can come.
Yeah, okay. Well, like, duh, obviously.
Exactly. See? It's a win for
Those are
everybody,
really
really.
strong finger guns.
Lots of big finger guns
And
energy.
I think we see like the
Yeah.
scene fading out of the 2 of you in the cave as like it comes back to clarity, and it's kind of the 2 of you like making your way up this like winding road, and this large like house in front of you. It's got like kind of like these big open like almost balconies, like verandas, these columns, very much like a kind of like Mediterranean style, like open gardens, these vines growing up, flowers everywhere. Like as you guys are coming up, the night is kind of like settling in, late like falling night on after a long summer day, right? And I think you could hear like softly coming from the mansion like the sounds of like music. The hills are alive with it, and and like, yeah, softly. The pair of you with like Waffle kind of flying next to you, like standing, like walking like up towards this place, right? Yeah, and then I think.
Gosh, rich people.
Yeah, right? This is like kind of crazy.
You sure we're supposed to be here?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And she like asked you to be on the crew?
Well, I mean,
And I think it's like right there that the scene like fades to black. And we see at the bottom of the screen now, right? As we cut back to the Dragonfly, the lot of you there, the maps in the room, you're like sitting in the crew room, this discussion of like, we need to get in touch with the Ferris, the Bard of the Blossoms. Where are we going? What are we doing?
yeah. What do you guys think? Sound good?
I trust Reya implicitly to communicate what we need.
Yeah.
Can I ask a question that I've like probably should have asked a while ago? Why are we on the ship again?
Adventure
Good question.
to find out ancient information that's been lost. Orbs.
Update the info, yeah.
Yeah.
Seeking knowledge in being anywhere else but homeworld.
Yeah.
There was a notion, as it was explained to me by Yanna, that was not just about the acquisition of information, because obviously one can never acquire all of the information in the world or the cosmos. It was as much about inspiring people to think beyond their small pedestrian lives.
Exactly.
I never left Gisande the entire 29 years of my life, which is a long time, until I got on this ship, well, shortly before. But even just that has opened my eyes to wonder and incredible things. Isn't that worth spreading?
Absolutely. I mean,
We don't need to like check in. We can just like do anything. Should we like see if
So
she's alive?
it sounds
I mean,
it sounds like you're asking, how do we know when we have succeeded?
well,
What does success look like?
Yeah.
Shall we develop some SMART goals?
I was just
Yeah.
going to say, can we have smart objectives,
Let's
please?
do a SWOT analysis. Let's
What are
define
our
our
KPIs?
Like, yeah, just KPI.
I mean,
Sorry.
if I'm going to be honest with you guys, we've already got another ship out there, like, doing stuff kind of like we are. Like, we've doubled what's going on. And we found the apparatus of Hux. Are you, like, that's insane. And now we have it back at the Aether Station, right? Like,
Sure.
we're
Yeah.
so I'm not mad about it.
Completely not on the ship.
Like, I mean, we're like collecting stuff, and like people can like come see it, and like it's not.
We're like a traveling museum.
If we want to send a message to Yanna, we could do that too.
Reya, I have spent some time with you since we met at Homeworld. To this
Yeah.
day, I do not understand your relationship with Clancy, but I acknowledge that he, or whatever it is, grants you incredible powers.
No, not whatever it is. It's Clancy.
Yes, I apologize for any disrespect. My question is simply, how
Yeah.
do you know that you are doing what Clancy wants? How do you know without outside influence that you're doing the right thing?
Well, you don't, I guess. But, every time, my magic works, or, to feel it in my gut, feels like I'm doing the right thing. How do you know when you're doing the right thing?
It is based on a complex network of ethics and citizenship ingrained in me and my colleagues from a young age by the Giff-Q of Gisande, but I have since learned that sometimes one must branch out from what you know and do what feels right.
Mm-hmm.
It's
Yeah.
not always easy to know if you're doing the right thing, but you feel pretty quickly when you're doing the wrong thing.
Precisely. And I do not feel as though we have been doing the wrong thing. Everything we've done up to this point has felt
Not wrong.
not wrong.
Yeah, you shot Jake with a ballista. That didn't feel wrong then? That must have felt a
Big
little wrong.
callback to season 1,
And
episode
for that, I
1.
will apologize profusely.
It's okay. I'm just saying. There's, I don't know that we've universally done the right thing all the time, but
Also, didn't you guys accidentally murder somebody's animal companion?
Look, we need not dig out all of the history here. But
yeah.
just to say, perhaps if we have not heard from Yavanna, we're doing the right thing.
No news is good news.
You think like why shake the bee's nest? You know?
Whoa.
Wait.
It's not the bees.
Let's not disparage the bees.
Let's be kind.
Well, we don't. We don't have to, but we could. The option's on the table.
I
You
mean,
know.
we could always just say hi. She'd probably appreciate it.
We could have our weekly stand-up with. Sorry. Yeah, never mind. No more business.
Reya, you have
I am not opposed. I don't want to be a stick in the mud. But
Oh, sticks in the mud are great. That's when you know if there's something hiding underneath. You put a stick in the mud. They're great. They're very resourceful. They're useful. So
then do
be
I
a stick
want?
in the mud if you want to. Reg.
There is risk in checking back in with authority sometimes.
Yeah, on Pavas sometimes you had to put a stick in the mud and you could find bugs in there and they were delicious bugs. You
Hey,
poke in a
bugs?
stick in the mud. What?
You ate bugs?
Yeah. Why? Yeah.
Doc, is this helping answer your
What?
question?
I guess. I don't know.
What was the question?
Guess we're gonna talk to a ferret?
Do you eat
I
bugs?
just asked what we
And
were
we
supposed
all-
to be doing at
yes.
here. Yes. I mean, yeah. Let those of us who haven't eaten a bug
the first.
cast the first
Bug?
stone.
I mean,
Well, we could send a message to a Ferris and, then see where we want to go.
Yes, perhaps if we send a message to Ferris, if he gives us a clear direction, then when we next speak to Yavanna, we know what to report.
That's true. That's a good
Easier to
idea.
check in and say, hey, we're going here than like.
And
if
we don't know what we're doing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll look so much more prepared if we
Yes.
know where we're going to go. Yeah.
Yeah. I love it.
Okay, what do you want me to say?
Howdy.
Okay, one pleasantry.
One
Howdy.
pleasantry.
Howdy.
You up?
We
Question mark.
Where's this going, Melissa?
you up and then question mark.
Yeah, really, artificer and chill. Like,
I think you could encapsulate all of that into sup.
Sup? Yes.
True. We should probably identify ourselves. Hey, it's the Dragonfly crew.
Yup, great.
We are looking for the Bard of the Blossom. A Bard of the Blossoms?
Well, we should probably ask where he is.
Oh,
We want to meet.
we
Yeah.
could. That's a long
I think
ride
that was
back
kind of
to
implied by the you up part, but sure.
I edit
I
that-
felt like that was more like.
Oh, we didn't say howdy, you up, sup. How's it going?
What have you got so far, Ray?
Howdy, it's the Dragonfly crew. We want to meet.
Beautiful.
Where are you?
Yes.
that seems very confrontational. No, we want to
said
meet.
howdy. How
Oh,
much
we
less
did say.
confrontational can
We
you
did say howdy. And once we identify ourselves, like, he'll be really cool. For sure.
He like might not want to meet us.
We should
He
drop
said
the
he wanted
Bard
to
of the
meet up with
Blossoms
us.
thing. No,
He did.
that way if he
Uh,
doesn't have
I
information,
mean,
or we just want
We
to
don't.
meet him regardless.
we could just meet up with him, probably. He was headed to Starion.
Hmm?
So,
Staring.
Starion.
Okay.
Which was quite the journey. So,
Is that on our map?
it is not, because it is in fact one of the moons of the planet Rune. Was where he was going.
A moon of Rune.
Exactly.
All right, Reya will cast sending
Okay.
to a Ferris.
to the noted scholar, Afaris, the wizard.
Yeah.
I'm ready. Yep.
A forest.
Okay, howdy. It's the Dragonfly crew. We want to meet. Where are you? Not trying to be confrontational. Praise Clancy.
Not trying to be confrontational.
You can reply to this.
I must say, having our chief diplomat Asturias lead for this Vivian spiral is proving to be quite problematic.
What do you mean?
They tried to teach me everything they know, but it's
I
only
hope
gone.
they
so-
learn.
Rhea is sitting
And-
ignoring all the, like, waiting for a response. He's just drowning at everybody else.
Right. I think like some moments pass and you hear like, oh, hello. Exactly. Now I'm like, I have to do all the word parsing on my own. You guys have like a think tank to dissect. I think the response that you get back is, give it to me one more time. Give it to me one more time. Yeah.
Howdy, it's the Dragonfly crew. We want to meet. Where are you? Not trying to be confrontational.
Not
Praise
trying to be confrontational. Oh my god.
Oh my God.
I think that you get word back of like, oh hello, Dragonfly crew. Yes, delightful. It's a bunch of words. You just wasted a bunch of words. Yeah.
So many words.
Well, no, it's good to know that
Yeah.
he's glad.
Yeah.
I'd
fine.
hoped to hear back from you. Traveling towards Lund, which you know to be the seat of the Kingdom of Blossoms, a homeworld of halflings.
Okay, great. I would relay this all.
Can you
Lon.
send him a message and say like, "See you there"?
I think that burns another spell slot, right?
We have cheese.
We have
Sorry.
cheese.
So I could.
Lund is how far from here?
It's moderately far, as I think that you all have been away from the Aether Station for some days, probably like a 10-day in space, and you find yourselves closest probably to Aurea of the planets. So you got a decent little haul to get to Lund. It would take you probably the better part of 2 10 days at least.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm open to it.
I guess
Do you
Great
think that they
start.
play with sticks in the mud in
Yeah.
the halflings of Lund?
I think everybody
classic halfling
at
game.
least play with
It's a
sticks in the
joke.
mud at
It's
some
about
point in their life.
halflings playing sticks.
Yeah.
It's fine.
I got you, Troy.
Thank you.
Do you want me to respond back to send him another
Yeah, make sure he's
message?
still gonna be there by the time we get there, though. That seems important.
Okay. Okay. No pleasantries. Just
Yeah.
right to business.
All business.
Bray doesn't want to. So just gonna cast sending. We'll meet you there. Don't leave before we get there. Not trying to be.
Okay, we're at 15. 10 more. 10 more.
Need anything?
Pick up Oreos on the way home. What are we doing?
And I think
Praise
Do we
Clancy.
need milk?
I think the praise Clancy. I think the response you get back is like, I can be certain to stay for some time. Business to attend to. And I'm disembarking from the princess. Bring cheese.
Okay. Gotta get some cheese.
Yes, we do.
So what I just heard.
Done. Take care of.
Oh,
God.
he's
Great.
fine.
Reya relays the whole message.
Yep. Whole message, yep.
So what I'm hearing is that we get to take Ferris with us. He's leaving the princess.
Well, disembarking
saying.
could mean that he's staying on the
I
halfling
think it
planet.
just means he was getting off the ship, I think.
Oh, we could pick him up.
Lux, we discussed this at Aether Station for some time.
What did we discuss?
Every person you meet does not need to ride aboard the Dragonfly to be our friend.
It's not
For
every
instance,
person. We're already
Ferris is
friends with
responding
Ferris.
to our
Ferris is already.
messages. We've not even
Exactly.
invited him upon the ship yet.
He's already passed. We've like had drinks with him. Like he's already passed. Like we're friends. We're definitely friends. Like
Yes, but you don't have to travel through space with all of your friends.
why not? Why not? Got a good answer?
I want them to stay my friends.
Are you guys not gonna stay my friends? Are you guys not gonna?
I'll stay your friend, Lux.
Definitely.
Thanks, Doc.
Stay friends.
Well, we became friends on the ship, so that's different.
Lux
Doc
didn't
and I have
become
been best friends.
I wish
Yeah.
you luck.
Foreshadowing.
The darkest timeline.
So,
So we go.
Or
Jake,
do we
Lan?
Ivana?
I'm gonna ask you for
I
that
have-
cheese at some point, sometime when I'm, had a couple. Don't give me the cheese. I'm gonna want it.
It's a good call. I do have one more spell slot. A little bit more magic to use if we want
talk to
to
anyone else?
tell Ivana we're going far.
You could wait until tomorrow,
Maybe not.
which is a couple of 10 days to lunch.
Many days.
I mean, while we're here, we've got the momentum.
Is there anyone else we should talk to? Yvonne's cool and all, but
We could
I would love
see how
to
we
check-
can see how Warbeam is doing.
I would love
How
yeah,
the-
or the Kobold Revolution is going.
Yeah.
yeah, let's check in
Yeah.
with Warbeam and see if perhaps all of Cerelia has fallen into destruction.
True.
Okay. Howdy. I'm not setting just It's the dragon. Wait, Ben.
Yeah!
Wait,
Ben.
Did you know Warbeam?
Doctor, that angry old jeweler, of course.
Yeah, we're gonna send him a message.
Tell him he
Anything you
owes
want
me
us to tell
money.
him? We're gonna send him a message.
Yeah,
Angry old what?
I'm with you, Karen. It took you a second.
Sorry.
It took
I was seeing if anyone else heard the same thing I did.
Oh my goodness.
Jake, they have been discussing Warbeam ad nauseum. I've never met the fellow.
You're not missing much.
Me neither.
Oh, how can you say
I had to
that?
live with him for
Warbeam
60
was
years.
awesome. He helped me start a bar fight.
It was awesome.
Great.
Well, I guess we all can change.
We had a real heart to heart with him over drinks.
You'd have
It
been
was
the
lovely.
first.
Yeah, he started out as kind of a, this like angry guy, and then we invited him out to drinks. I think kind of randomly, and he agreed, which was weird, but yeah. And then he really enjoyed getting into the fight with a bunch of gifts.
And I'm sorry,
So-
this is not the most important detail, but Warbeam is his given name or his family name or his...
Oh no, that's his family name. His given name is Noctror.
Yeah, Nocturne.
Yeah, which is completely spelled out and not N-O-K-D-R-O-R like I had in my notes. But it's
No,
Noctror.
it's Knockdrawer.
Spelled exactly how you
And then
say it.
Warbeam.
I think his parents hated him.
As
except
they say,
we-
never trust someone with two first names.
We did talk to him about the name thing, and now he's just the
Oh,
Warbeam.
well.
He has changed his first name to The.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Basically. Yep.
Well,
It's quite the character.
Okay, well, I'm going to send him a
Technically,
message.
it's
Yeah.
an NPC.
All right, Reya's cast sending.
Howdy.
Howdy. It's the Dragonfly crew. Ben. Ooh, does AKA stand as one word?
We can, yeah, we could let it count as one word, I guess. Yeah. Also,
Okay,
Yeah.
AKA Vrox says you owe him money. Has there been a revolution yet? Hope you're well. Praise Clancy.
Well, then you sound confrontational.
Didn't have
No,
enough.
That's fine. I think board games you're confrontational. That's exactly how board games. We were very confrontational
I
with
think you
him when we
hear-
first met.
We were.
He actually likes
you
it.
hear back,
Yeah.
Ray. I'm like, what in the fuck? How did you get in me head? Tell that old bastard to come collect. We've stolen so much Sahagwin money. It's stolen so much Sahagwin money.
Okay. So yeah, I think it's going good.
Oh my
Yeah.
gosh.
well then,
And
the seeds of
I-
insurrection are
I think
bearing
I can squeeze
fruit.
A couple more words out of like,
See?
Viva la
So
revolution!
successful.
Yeah.
So successful, you guys.
Yeah.
Like, that's great news.
And
Yeah.
Yvonne is fine with us like sowing the seeds of insurrection around the universe.
I
I mean,
simply
if she's not, then
yes, I can't imagine why one would send us out to explore curiosity and the wonders of the world and not imagine it to be a revolutionary act in this climate. She
Ask
knows.
for forgiveness and not permission.
Yeah, I'm done with that.
I
The last
also
part.
would not be sorry at all for what we did on Cerelia.
No, I'm not sorry at all. I'm just saying.
Yeah.
If we need to, I don't want to like check with her. I'm just saying, if she's going to be mad about it, maybe we should not just like announce ourselves everywhere we go.
I'm more worried about how we are not able to update the orb about Bridge. You know, that's is literally our only. You know, the directive was update the orb, and then they were like, "Don't update the orb." Like,
Yeah,
okay.
but
So, you know.
just for like their safety.
I think maybe once we make things, you know, if we can, a little safer, then, you know, hopefully what we do with other stuff can help with that. Maybe we can get there.
I think that's part of the reason why Asturias wanted to go back, was to assist them, and I do agree, Reya. It feels a bit odd to omit certain information with our employer, but we don't need to be dishonest directly. If we simply fill the update with more information, then we didn't have time to discuss the other place that shall not be named.
Yeah, sure. Listen, I'm more loyal to all you than anybody else. So.
Then to Clancy?
Oh, not Clancy and
Okay.
Jake above everyone else, but you know,
Oh,
the rest of you are all tied.
Right, Clancy, Jake, the rest of us,
Yeah, that makes sense.
Any Tortle, actually, but then.
Oh,
and then the rest of us.
Yeah, Clancy, any Turtle, Tortles, everybody. You, everybody on the Dragonfly, and then everybody else.
so turtles are above turtles, or are they on the same thing?
Oh, Turtles are definitely above Tortles.
Turtles. Okay.
Oh.
Okay.
Wait, but are turtles above Jake? Wait, but are turtles above?
I don't want to say it right in front of everybody. But yeah.
He's right here.
You're the one that started ranking people.
Yeah, listen, I'm gonna. There's so many rooms.
It's okay, Ray. I understand.
Thanks.
No.
That's why
And
you're
so I
above
think,
everyone.
yeah, if there's nothing else like pressing here, yeah. I mean, as Reya like leaves the room, is there anything else like major you guys are discussing? The scene fades. And so I think that with many days of travel, some goal of a destination in mind, at least this night, the lot of you find yourselves asleep. The systems of the Dragonfly such that it can drive itself forward in its direction without any specific governance on your part. The lot of you are all able to rest. And I think that as sleep takes you all, because conveniently there are no elves amidst this crew. Slowly, the night kind of swallowing you up in this perpetual, timeless void of space. We see each of you in your hammocks, your beds, your shells, as it were, resting through the eve. The scene fades to black, and as it begins to clarify in front of us again, I think that we see an island almost, waves kind of crashing up around it on all sides. The sky above, the same kind of velvety, bluish black tapestry of stars that surrounds the ship. And the camera kind of pulling in closer on it. We see the 5 of you. Waffle notably absent. All seemingly like standing in a circle. And you see your friends around you, gathered with you, standing here. You can almost smell the sound, the brine of the seawater, the perpetual kind of crashing of the waves against the rocks. And I think that all of you just hear this voice kind of like echoing into the space. Like, well met again, my faithful crew. I heard you today asking about me, and thought perhaps it has been too long since we have spoken. And I think that, like, the voice is like, do not be alarmed. This is old magics. Likely I should have reached out sooner, but I did not want you to second guess yourselves on your way. And I think like suddenly like there's this almost like shooting star that's like dropping from the sky. A lot of you seeing this like flash in the sky above you as you look up, and as this like kind of glimmering white energy is kind of shrieking down towards the island. It like connects with the ground without any kind of impact. No debris is blown back, but as it does, you can see this kind of like spiral staircase, almost composed entirely of light, and the regal form of this tall woman, her hawkish nose, her kind of tumble of hair down around her shoulders as she's like walking down this spiral staircase towards you. And she like steps off the bottom step, like looking around, like, you all are just where you left yourselves, asleep in your ship. I meet you now in your dreams. Hello.
Hello. Oh, hi.
Hello.
You've been spying on us this whole time?
No, of course not. Your suspicion, though, I appreciate it.
I mean, you knew we were talking about you?
Were your ears burning?
No. But should you speak my name on the ship, just know that I might well hear that, if nothing else.
Jake immediately tries to play back the last
Yeah, the
all
whole
the
like
moments.
last months.
Did he
Yeah. And she says, I am certain that you do not trust me entirely, and that is all right. You don't need to. But I have no need to listen on your words or watch you while you go. If the fact that I can walk into your dreams is not enough proof of that, then I'm not sure what I can do.
It's the fact that you can do this that makes me more nervous, not less.
Fair.
We actually, we were talking about you because we thought we should check in. Because Reya can do that.
Well, then check in we shall. How have you fared so far?
Oh, gosh.
Great.
I mean, yeah, really, honestly, pretty good. Picked up a lot of new friends.
Some others have departed, I see.
Yeah.
Most recently, we were at the Aether Station. There was this kind of jerk, Sky Occam, the builder.
Yeah, big update to the Aether Station section of the org. Needs a big update. Yeah. Big changes there.
I was not familiar with the place, to be honest, so already I'm heartened.
Yeah, it's pretty much ours now, and we found we found the apparatus of Hux.
You don't say. Hux was one of the 5. Such a thing as a relic of the first days of travel.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. Good. Yeah. Good thing it's all fixed, and it definitely was never broken at any point.
No.
Or like drop
not
from a great height, or
Yeah, or the door ripped off because
Yeah.
we couldn't find the handle or anything like that.
Yeah. Anyway, so we.
I think that she asks, Asturias and Geordie, are they well? Are they alive, at least?
Asturias is alive. Yeah, they're alive. Who's Geordie?
Right.
I believe that Geordie. Well,
The bad man.
Oh, Nicholas.
Oh, Nick. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's like, oh. Well, I suppose you can choose any name you wish. No.
Exactly.
Yeah. And he chose Nicholas' name, which is a bit of a weird. It's a bit redundant, but yeah.
Yeah.
You know.
I admit I sent you off with very little guidance. Has that gotten in the way?
Yes.
I mean, I think we found our way pretty well. And we've done a lot of good stuff.
Yeah, we kind of just do what we want. Is that fine with you?
She like chuckles. Like, is that so, Professor? Do you do what you want?
Goodness.
Maybe we don't do what we want. Reg, we do what we think is good.
Yes.
Yes. I would say we've done what we think is right and responsible. And I would very much like to continue on this mission. Perhaps with a bit more guidance, if that is your wish. I guess I most would just like to know why have you chosen to speak to us now of all times?
It's probably like there's the rapid sequence of her name being said like more often than any time since we took off.
I think she says, in truth, the first echoes of your journey have been heard here on Homeworld. Just days ago, a ship landed. The November storm. I've heard of this fight at this place I did not know before, the Aether Station. A small ship, unlike any that have been seen by any pilots yet living. Adventurers.
I think that was us.
Oh, it was. I'm certain.
Yeah.
Is this a good thing or a bad thing that you have heard?
I have to make
If
a confession.
Please, do.
I call you here to this place. I meet you here in your dreams. Because dreams have been important to me for a long time. It's how I found your ship, actually. A dream that led me to speak to somebody who placed it in my hands. Would it frighten you all if I told you I dreamed of each of you before I met you?
Yes, very much
Yeah,
so.
that's creepy.
It's kind of cool.
It's interesting.
Yeah, I'm kind of indifferent on the whole thing.
Excellent spectrum. Yeah. It's an excellent spectrum.
You think like one person like that is awesome, and I'm surprised it wasn't Lux.
And I think that she says, I cannot say that there was a clarity of purpose behind my actions. I merely felt it in my gut, if you would. And then, when I saw you all, that sense when the hair stands on the back of your neck and goose flesh raises on your arms, as though you are connecting with some greater awareness, something untangible, something unclear, but that you know to be true.
Turtles.
Yes, Tortles. We love them. The truth is, I have lived for a long time, and the state of these worlds, connected as they are by those who would use their resources for profit, who would conquer them, hide them away. Once there was a dream. I was not part of that dream, but a hope that the worlds of this galaxy, of this universe, could find harmony. The people of these worlds could aspire to learn, to find faith, to live where they choose. She looks at you, Jake. To stand openly as they are, without having to hide themselves from those around them. And that dream was shattered. The universe degrades. The longer these institutions of banality proceed, the more those who are driven by greed, ego, those who would do violence, gain strength. Have you ever watched a dragonfly before?
A dragon
An actual.
fly or a dragonfly?
The insect?
That's right. The insect.
Oh yeah, the many months I spent in the swamps of Homeworld, lots of
You know.
dragonflies.
They flit from lily pad to lily pad, and despite their size, each one that they land upon sends ripples into the pond, into its stream. This universe is in the autumn of its life. Winter approaches. It is dying. The people of these worlds are dying. Their cultures, their dreams, their hope to live the lives they would choose and not the ones forced upon them. But as the dragonfly leaves its ripples in the great pond, lands on the branches, they too die. But then spring comes. Do you know why? Because in autumn, the seeds are ripe and full on the trees and the bushes. Each plant that they skim past, they send those seeds into the wind. Each flower that they land upon, they scatter them beneath it.
So you want us to pollinate the universe?
Yes, just that.
My mind went in a completely wrong direction.
I think she's like, just that. The universe is in its autumn. A cold winter approaches. Such things I am not sure can be avoided, but seeds can be scattered to ensure that the spring will come. Each ripple that you make has consequences unforeseen, but already there are legends of your small ship, of your actions. There are those who would know well this place that you found, this Aether station, who would know the name of this Occam, who would fear that there are those who could take down one with such power. I have no grand goal. I send you on no grand mission. These orbs once collected the sum of all knowledge across all worlds. They are scattered, lost. The one that I sent you with is little more than a list of disconnected names and forgotten places. But with each new world you land on, you leave echoes of your story. You meet those who would be inspired. You build allies, and you identify enemies. You are connecting the threads that held together the tapestry of the dream from before. I can claim that I own this ship, but it is very far from my grasp now, in your control, and I have no intent to take it back from you. What you do is for you to choose. You do not work for me. You do not serve me in that way. You merely serve my dream by sending you from homeworlds on this ancient dragonfly that died once and has been born again. You change the course of what will come next, and that is all I can ask.
So we're not pollinating as much as we're repollinating.
Yes. I suppose.
It seems our patron has given us the simple task to pursue our mission as we've continued it. mixed with the gargantuan task of saving the realm and the cosmos and the entire future of all civilization across no less than 23 worlds.
I mean, I don't know about you guys, but I think about this a lot. And what we're doing. And what my parents did. And I think that it is easy. Because we just have to keep doing the next right thing.
She's right, Professor. You may not have realized it, but I give you no task save the one that you have taken on already. There is no great war that must be fought. No evil gods that must be vanquished. There is no enemy to direct you towards. You merely must spread hope.
But in that you have given us the enemy. It is despair. It is apathy, banality, the acceptance of the status quo and its most unacceptable form. We have the tools to do something about that. Perhaps not everywhere, but somewhere.
True. I hear on the watch world of Cerelia, the Tritons have returned. There is a great war raging against the Empire of Sahagwin, who have choked that planet, restricted the flow of its goods, and enslaved its peoples. That, I hear, is because a strange ship landed there for 10 days at best.
I can't imagine who.
Oh, there was us. Oh,
Remember the big turtles?
I understand.
I mean,
I
all we
remember.
did was eat some cookies and grab a
You
kobold.
also bore porn.
That's
Yeah.
what I'm saying.
Grab a kobold.
I'm not the brightest turtle in the pond, but it seems like every next good thing we do, even after we leave, those ripples are still spreading and potentially causing more ripples. So it's like if you tell 3 friends and they each tell 3 friends, like we just
Are
have
we in
to.
a pyramid scheme?
Yes, we are. You just have to push the first domino, and then.
But that presupposes you
people-
have 3 friends, Jake. And I guess I have at least four
Dear
or 5.
friends, you guys. Listen, can we establish something right now? I'm sick of hearing this. We have been on this ship for how long together? And if any of you say you're not my friend,
Really
I don't
hard
believe
to tell
you.
how long in space. That's the only trouble.
All I mean is that hope has momentum, and we don't. We just have to push the first domino to really mix metaphors here.
Yeah, I was good. Jake's right. We have to find friends who will push dominoes to make
That's
ripples,
right.
everybody. So we have to
Yes.
do- Yeah.
But what that tells me is we should not get caught up in any one place for too long. We should come in and do what we can to eliminate despair and oppression and move on to the next place that needs us.
I completely agree. We should continue to be on the on the move as much as possible.
Lux, you like plants, right?
Me?
So Lux.
I do.
Oh,
I like plants.
Just about plants and seeds everywhere, you know?
Exactly. And well, and Ivana said it before. We're like a dragonfly hopping from lily pad to lily pad.
It is, I think, quite appropriate that we have moved seed to the upper deck of our ship in some ways. They are the clarion call. We are the dragonfly that carries the seed. The metaphor writes itself.
Very true. If only they didn't want blood and bones.
That is, revolution does require a bit of sacrifice amongst
Hope
those
comes in
who
all
are.
forms.
It does.
Yeah.
I think Yvonne's like looking over all of you, like this smile on her face, and she's like, I did not mean to trick you in any way when I sent you. I just thought...
No, simply just dragging us here in our pajamas is enough to cause a bit of disruption, but one adjusts to it.
I don't feel betrayed. If anything, the actions we've been taking on this trip are no different to the types of actions we would have taken before this trip. It's just we're more mobile.
Oh, these actions are very different than what I was doing before.
Yes, quite.
But I'm saying the choices you would have made are no different.
Making very different choices.
I think Yvonne's like...
Let me try a different
What
tack.
he's saying, Doc, is that whether you chose to hide yourself away in a cave from the world or not, that your heart is your heart. I think. It's hard to translate for turtles.
Until you bond with a rock orb from the shadow realm, and then your heart becomes some sort of other creature that it has control over.
Story?
I'm sorry?
Wait, what?
So, never mind. I...
No, never mind.
I would say the cat is out of the bag, but I will say the cat is out of the bad man, and you must tell us now.
With the orb of information, the index, but the boy Geordie, the bad man, he had one inside of him, I believe. I will see if I can find some word of where he may have gone, where he goes next. I'm sure he too will leave ripples.
Most assured.
That tracks.
Yep.
So he'd like done the bonding thing already, or he'd like swallowed it, because he did a lot of swallowing things.
Yeah. There was Jeffrey.
Yeah, it was mostly just Jeffrey, and then like
that was very disconcerting. I'm not entirely sure how he got there, but there was some relationship between himself and Jeffrey and an orb, to be sure. Indeed. Homeworld gets crazy, y'all.
I have learned not to yuck another's
I think
yum.
that she's just like, I am here for you, should you need me. The day may come where I ask something of you, something direct, where I am in need. If you have questions, if you have hardships, you can turn to me.
Wait, one day you're gonna ask us for something, and we have to do it because you've like given us this ship.
No. I do not intend to turn myself into one of those people. I will never demand anything of you. But if I ask, I would perhaps demand that you consider my intentions. Yes, Troy.
I, at this point, feel completely...
Yeah! Let's roll a dice!
There it is.
This is...
I am not the person to be rolling it, but I feel like Reginald is compelled.
Session Dragonfly, where I ask for no dice rolls.
Yeah.
Okay, insight check. Here we go.
Get this whole roll 20 screen up on the map. We might as well get some insight checks.
Oh.
An 8.
It's an 8.
Hard to say. You're in a dream.
Yeah, turns out.
Yeah.
So I think that she's just like, spread the seeds. Find those of like minds, allies. I cannot make change alone, nor can you. Even together, there's only so much that we few can do. But there are others in the other worlds who would stand with us, who will echo your stories, who will help to ensure that there is a spring to come after winter.
A blossoming, one might say.
Blossoming, one might say.
It sounds like, though, like, I'm trying to put on my metaphor hat here, that
She's
this...
in fact a metaphor.
Quite good.
She just stops and is like, yeah.
A GIF suddenly drops in the tree.
Sorry, Kurt.
No. Jake would hear that and like just like completely like drift away in like thought going.
Wow. Can I ask a favor?
You can ask, of course.
Are you like on Homeworld right now?
Yes.
Like, would you mind? Remember my parents? You saw them. Could you just maybe say hi to them and tell them that Doc and I are okay?
The peregrine flies, but I will send word.
Thanks.
Is there anything you need to know from me? Do you have questions? For it seemed perhaps
are
like
they-
you might.
Are they doing okay?
Oh, I'm
They're
very
out right
sorry.
now?
I didn't mean to give the impression I was monitoring your parents. I was asking the group at large. I'm really uncertain as to
In general.
the well-being of those two particular individuals. But probably. Yeah,
I know.
probably.
I just,
50-50?
Okay.
Maybe 70-30.
Okay.
90%, yes. Yes.
Thank you.
Okay.
Yes. Thank you. Yep.
Giovanna, it's a very open-ended question. One has many curiosities, but perhaps the most immediate salience. What can you tell us about Lun, the halflings of Lun, and the bards of the Blossom?
Well, the bards are notable across the histories from what's understood. The rumor is that one amongst them fled the kingdom, spreading many of its secrets, its words, but they are known far across the worlds. The Kingdom of Blossoms itself, from my understanding, is an ancient thing. A kingdom from somewhere else. They found Lun while they were running. The halflings gave them home, taught them the ways of that place, and so now the kingdom thrives again. They have advanced weaponry and ships. My understanding is they do not hire from the mercenary guilds. The halflings themselves are capable, dangerous, but the elves are more likely to be found off-world. Beyond that, I know very little, and even this that I recount to you now are writings from before.
Excellent. Well, some information is better than none. It is certain to be inaccurate, but we will endeavor to ride the waves as they come.
I don't know if this... I really don't mean this to be rude.
That sounds very much like you're going to ask something quite rude.
I hope not, genuinely.
Just say you don't mean to be confrontational. I believe that was the terminology.
Right, exactly. I don't mean
trying
to
to be
confrontational.
confrontational.
I'm trying to be confrontational. You know, I can't help but be curious. So you keep talking about before. Certainly not a question you have to answer.
I'm
How
a very
old
old
are you?
woman. You are not
Goodness
supposed
Lux.
to ask a very old woman her age, young lady.
Listen, I tried to preface as much as I could.
How old do
But-
I look?
I'm just really...
I
Do
mean,
not answer that question.
to be honest, we have, like, our people have a bit of a weird concept of age, right? Like, we don't really change how we look
Yeah.
despite constantly
Very
changing how we
Oh,
look.
you
So,
changed it.
yeah. It's not her fault, is what I'm saying.
Thanks, Doc.
You look very old, if that's any credit.
I am. I'm very old.
Good, right?
I
That's a
mean-
good thing. You've like lived a really long time. That's
I like
that's
to
good.
think I've done good things with my years. So yes, I believe it is.
Good. Okay.
Do you have a destination in mind? I think she
Stew
says,
away.
do you have a plan? Is there anything?
Well, yeah, we're gonna go to Lund, and we're gonna find a bard. Hopefully.
Not just any, just a specific part, not just any part. Yeah.
Our hope is that perhaps through finding someone with the means of communicating our story, it will amplify the impact that we've had, and we could learn from them about other places around that could use some help. So, go talk to the one who talks.
I have a friend in one of the bards. I've not seen her in some time. I will send word that you are on your way, if that's helpful.
Oh, who?
Oh, I'm not certain that. Yes, of course, that would be incredibly helpful.
I will send word.
Who?
And I think as
who?
you're like asking
Lux.
who, I think all of a sudden like there's like a voice kind of like echoing in the dream. You hear like, and she like looks up like, what is that?
It's probably just Ben.
I think it might be a waffle.
Oh, it might be a waffle.
Like yeah, I think that like manifesting like almost like next to Doc, there's like this flickering, and you're like, and you could sense that like poor Waffle is like right on the edge of this. And there's some like, and she's just like, certainly whatever it is, it's on your ship. You should go.
Oh, it's my buddy. How many orbs are there? Just real quick
How
before we
many
go.
in total?
Yeah, just like ballpark figure.
What's a pole bar?
It's a changeling game that they play. They throw the balls at one another. You win cheese. I think that she's just like.
Very fun.
Just a full figure.
I think she says, there are countless orbs that I am, by my understanding, there were many that were gathered during the rising of the library. The man named Fred Cynic is said to have taken 7 of them after the revolt in that place. His travel through the stars after the fall of the library would rise up an entire philosophy after him. The cynics still prevail in the universe. The ripples of those 7 orbs, I think we still feel in this day and age. I can't be sure how many, though. Countless, likely. I'm sure that, well, there are some like the one I sent you with, the index, with barely anything more than disconnected words, vague histories. There are others, I believe, that are much more powerful. Whichever...
Did we mention Ask?
Ask?
Oh yeah, you were gonna say something about Ask, and we got distracted.
I was?
Yes.
This was just about we got
I
distracted
think
by
she says,
Jordy.
Right.
whatever Jordy found was more than just an orb of knowledge. I believe it may have been possessed of its own sentience, and certainly capable of affecting the world around it.
Gotcha.
We have one.
You do?
That. Mm-hmm. It's very creepy. A shadow orb?
Ooh, a what? When you say it's
Yeah.
creepy, you mean it gives off sensations of danger? Ominous?
He's trying to like meld with one of us, except
To
it's very
bond with one
judgy
of
about
us.
it, and it like
Yeah.
has very
When
particular
you
taste,
say
which is,
it tries-
not cool.
Are you familiar with the aphorism, if you see something, say something?
Yes, of course. I established that in terms of the coming and going of the security systems on Homeworld. We have strangers. If you see something, say something.
Yes, if you were to meet this orb, you would say something.
It's a
this one's
stranger
the bond.
danger for sure. Yeah.
Yeah, it
one of
says
us.
for like higher
Function.
like function. Yep, there it is.
Some of the orbs were
Really?
capable of powerful feats of magic. Whatever bonded with Jordy certainly gave him greater potential than he had before. In truth, I never would have sent the boy were it not for that. It seemed part of all of your destinies. But
I'm sorry, you continue to call him a boy. And we know him not to be bad, so though his name was the Bad Man, he was neither bad nor
he was
man.
a 15-year-old human named Jordy from Homeworld.
Oh my goodness.
15.
What? We let him go out alone.
But the beard, it's such a big
Yeah.
Very
beard.
strange.
He looked like stories I hear
like-
about a man named Santa Claus.
Purple?
Also, yeah, why was he purple?
And he ate like the cat. Like a really
Well,
The
the
cat,
cat
like,
did
lived
live
inside
inside of
his
him.
body.
Yes, I mean it's a
It's-
slight difference. He
it's
didn't
the
eat
mood
the cat. I
swings.
mean, the cat and he had clearly had a very intimate relationship. I don't know. It's not for me to pry. I will try to find him.
Anyway,
Okay.
I will try to find him.
yes, please ensure that he is safe. And I believe, based on then our experience with him, it would further our belief not to bond with this orb unless absolutely necessary.
Yeah, we already got aged once and it was bad, so we don't want to do
yeah,
that.
that was
Well,
that
you
was
look
weird.
excellent regardless. I trust your judgment. I cannot overstate it. Your decisions. You should trust each other. That's all. What you choose to do with this thing is up to you. Should you wish to return to Homeworld at some point, I can examine it, but without being there, there's little I can know. I would imagine that your understanding of it is far better than whatever speculation I can offer now.
I'm just happy to be in a place where it cannot hear us.
I can hear you. No, I'm just kidding. I think she's just like, I should go. Your rest will
Okay.
not be right if I keep you here too long. Time is strange with these magics. Should you need me, seek me.
Yeah, just say your name, apparently.
3 times quickly.
Only in the ship. I cannot hear what you say after, but I do know.
So you say.
That's pretty cool.
That would have been useful when the faculty were talking about me behind my back. Regardless.
I wish you
Good then. We have a course and a name and information we did not have before.
I think that she like strides over to the stairs and like starts kind of like walking up them, peering back at you, and it's just like, I wish you all well. I hope that, well, I hope that you find good things where you go. I hope that next time we speak, we are all able to be there again.
Yeah.
Farewell. And I think she starts like walking, striding up the stairs, and all of you kind of like watching it. I think you watch as like the stairs are literally like melting away behind her as she kind of like rises up. The stars kind of begin almost like swelling individually and like kind of like stretching. And I think all of you have a moment of like, you see almost like a constellation, the way like the lines like connect in the sky. There's like a hint, an image of like a shape almost for a moment. And then you're all knocked loose from this collective dream that you shared in your consciousness. Each of you in your various quarters and corners of the Dragonfly itself, under blankets, inside shells, where you might be. And I think that the camera, like, kind of, we get, like, the shot, probably, of, like, each of you maybe, like, moving a little bit, sleeping fitfully, maybe waking up afterwards. I think that, the camera, like, then pulling up away from the ship itself. We see on the upper deck, the plant in the, like, windless void of space, just kind of, like, slowly swishing, moving of its own accord. And I think that holding on to like the front rail, standing besides the ballista that's like, you know, twice as big as he is, we see the form of the tiny kobold, his wings tucked in at his back, and he's got one hand over his forehead as he's peering in front of him. And I think we just hear him like, well, that's gonna be a real problem. And that's where we'll leave our adventures today.
Yay!
Yeah! What a good ending.
Huzzah!
That was fun, you guys. We're back. We're back.
We're back.
We're back, baby.
Two dice rolls that were both initiated by
I like
players.
it.
That's
Yeah.
good.
And one.
That's it.
Wrong.
Yeah,
We do roll
both
dice on
together.
this show, folks.
We're back
generally.
in space. Yeah, I hope
but
that this was fun for all the viewers who were like hanging out watching this. We talked about it of like, what happens if we do an episode with no combat? What happens if like we don't roll out of dice? But there's a lot of like fun stuff we got into tonight. I loved it. Like what happens is like the dungeon master has fun. So like yeah.
Yeah.
That was super fun.
was
It's
awesome,
a blast
yeah.
to be back. I'm very excited about like where we go from here. I'm really looking forward to it. It's very cool to like see all your beautiful faces again. I'm delighted to be back in space. Gotta love old Ben. Yeah, I hope that the engagement with Yanna was interesting. Yeah,
It's good.
Long
Yeah.
overdue and an excellent start.
Yes. Absolutely.
hopes and dreams from here. You guys like optimistic? You nervous? You anxious about what happens next? What do we think?
That was good. That was not what I was expecting from Yanna. Just be like, yeah, you're all just there to like do good in the world. I was not. I was like ready
Yeah,
to be like,
so,
I'm
like,
secretly
the best
evil,
thing.
and like
Oh, yeah.
which could still come.
Definitely.
But
Yeah.
like, yeah, you know, for now it's like okay. That's why I didn't insight. I didn't.
She
I wasn't
wants you
gonna
to
insight check,
destabilize the current power regime so she can take over as the God Empress of the galaxy. Yeah, yeah.
Sure.
I mean,
I
sounds good to
definitely
me.
not
Very
expecting
possible.
all the like imagery around like it's autumn and winter is coming and like holy moly.
Yeah.
Gosh.
Yeah,
Okay.
the ripples on the lily pads.
Is
Very
that good?
lovely.
Is that good?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thanks.
Very lovely.
Yeah.
It's
You are
been
the
in my head
dragonfly.
for like a long time, since the beginning, really, of like the whole dragonfly metaphor and like the lily pads of the pond, these like planets and like, yeah, I don't know, a lot of good stuff. There's a lot of good stuff I think to like mine out of that. I'm very excited to come back. Welcome back, you guys. Thank you to everybody who hung out with us tonight and shared the space. We appreciate you so much. It's really like a delight. A lot of like familiar faces, our dear friends out there hanging out, watching the Dragonfly. Going forward, we're going to be taking the first Tuesday of every month off so that we can recharge our fuel cells. We have the five of us here. Kevin Mahadeo will be joining us semi-regularly with some consistency. We're still going to be like moving in and out, this crew, like to some degree or extent. Most of them will be here most weeks. We got a lot of like exciting guests lined up for season 2 that I'm like really, really floored about. And I have some fun adventures on the horizon, I think. Yeah. Anything else? Final thoughts? Episode 1? You guys have anything here that like I should note before we say our farewells?
Yeah, it was fun.
Very fun.
It was fun. It was great.
I mean,
Yeah,
Dave thinks he just had a really trippy dream.
Yeah.
Like everybody else woke up, but then he suddenly found himself like naked on stage.
Yeah, really. You gotta sing
Like, not
Homeward
again.
Bound in front of a small audience here. So that's Dragonfly Season 2, Episode 1. There we go. Hey, Prez, thank you for the sub. We will boldly go back. Hey, Matt,
Prez.
thank you so much. This Matt Milby, I'm going to presume, is in fact Matt Milby of Milby's Maps. Patreon.com/Milby's Maps. Go check it out. That's the new map of the Dragonfly that we are using. It is really extraordinary, and I just want to say, Matt, like, thank you for joining us. I was really glad to connect with you the other day. And man, we love this map. It is like so freaking cool. Yeah.
It got us so excited.
Yeah. It's amazing.
As soon as I showed it to my players the other day, they were like, "Oh my god, this is incredible!" Like like why have we been like flying around in this old crappy freaking Dragonfly map? We need this thing. So delightful to meet you. Thank you for throwing the link in there, Grace. Yeah, this is us. This is my delightful crew. Grace Leader, what do you got going on in the world? Where should people go look for you and find you? Because you're a busy individual.
Yeah, I'm on Twitter at Hi From Grace, doing lots of stuff on post-show recaps. Currently, Euphoria with Amon Adwin, Raised by Wolves with Josh Wigler, and eventually at some point, Taryn Armstrong Philly joined us for episode 6, season 1. Also doing movie coverage. This week will be Jackass 5.
Wow.
We're covering. Next week is Marry Me.
Wow.
Quite the
They did
week
5.
for quite the few weeks.
Okay.
Yeah, and over on Rob is a podcast doing the sports wrap up each week. We talk about the biggest sports stories of the week. So yeah, lots going on. I'm on Twitter at Hi From Grace.
Yes, you should go be listening to all the stuff that Grace does because she's doing a lot of it and it's all really good. It's such a blast talking to you about Raised by Wolves. I've been like, it's
a weird
so
show.
ridiculously weird. Anybody who's not watching that or is into D&D in space, probably Raised by Wolves is like supremely your jam.
Yeah.
Go check it out. It's really cool shit. Yes. Awesome. That's great. Troy, how about yourself? You're right underneath Grace right there.
Yeah, hi, Grace.
Hi.
If you want to follow me, you can follow me on Twitter if you want. At DJ LaBelle Klein is like my reality TV stuff. At Troy Steinmetz is like I mostly tweet about politics in Kentucky. So if you're not about that, you probably don't want to follow that. But I was just on the Sports Wrap Up Sports.
Yep.
I don't even know what we're calling it.
Sports wrap up. Yep.
Sports Wrap Up podcast on Rob Has a Podcast, along with Grace and Puya Zamkili. And we talked about all things Olympics, as well as football and English Premier League. And so if you want to hear about curling or help me pick an English Premier League team, you could listen to that podcast on the reality TV Wrap Up feed. Is that correct?
Yep.
Beyond that, it's Olympic season. Be good in the world. Put out like good peaceful vibes and good sportsmanship, And hopefully we will all get through this winter until a spring where it blossoms and isn't so freaking cold.
Yeah, I've been freezing this winter. It's a delight. Anytime like Troy, you get Troy on a podcast, it's a good decision to do it. He's very fun. Thank you, Troy, for returning. Taylor, how about you?
Gosh, I'm just hanging around, but I will say, hopefully soon, keep an eye out on my Twitter, Ronnie422, and my Twitch, twitch.tv/Ronnie422. Hopefully, fingers crossed, in the next few weeks here, I can get a better computer up and running, and I can get back to my Dragon Age streams because I miss it, and I desperately want to play it, but my little baby laptop needs some help, so... Let's hope get a good setup here, and I'll get back into that because I really like to get back into the streaming. And
I'm about to start streaming a bunch of video games probably in the next couple of weeks here, Taylor. We should sync up. We should play like some real small stuff. Let's play like Don't Starve. Let's play like real chill. Like let's hang out and like have fun. Yeah, if you guys are all down, I'm down for some like game nights. I think could be an absolute delight.
Yes.
In the interest of continuing to go counterclockwise, because F time, Melissa Woodward, what do you got going on?
Yes, you can follow me on Twitter, MelissaW28. This week I was on Shit 90 Shows Taught Me, talking about Boy Meets World. I also guest on One Indescribable podcast, talking about Crazy Ex-Girlfriend. Also talked some Legends of Vox Machina with a certain somebody. So lots of fun podcasting on top of the regular YA coverage over on the Patreon feed for post-show recaps. So patreon.com/post-show recaps gives you access to all of those podcasts, as well as hanging out in Discord with all of us. And YA with Kevin Mahadeo, we're talking Harry Potter right now. So we just did Sorcerer's Stone or Philosopher's Stone for those of us in the know. As well as our feedback show featuring one Tom Palmer.
I love that guy.
So it's going to be, so it's a great convo. So that's going to drop later this week. And then, what else? Oh, and then Monday, if you like D&D stuff, come watch me try to keep one of PSR's favorite NPCs from getting killed in a total party knockout at twitch.tv/sabotage the DM.
We love Sabotage the DM. They are informal sister stream over here, Twitch TV/GM Philly. When they go live, that pops up on this channel. Go follow them. They are the best. Can you tell us what you're fighting, Melissa? Or it's a big secret.
I know what I'm fighting.
Okay,
no.
Let's not break there.
It is very cool, and it's pretty. I don't know. It's pretty new. I think is. Maybe the exciting thing.
I know what it is. That's all you needed to say. I know exactly what it is. It's from Fizzpants, isn't it? It's from Fizzpants. It's gotta be from Fizzpants. Kurt Clark, my friend, what do you got going on?
If you want to hear more from me, you can catch up with me as I explore my love of pirates in my podcast, X Clark's the Spot. No, I got nothing going on. Occasionally I will stream on Twitch, whatever I'm playing on PlayStation right now. I kind of barreled through Mafia 1 and 2 in the last month, and now I'm in Mafia 3, and oh boy, that's a bloody messy game, but it's great.
Kurt, I
really
finally,
engaged. Anyway,
thanks to a very awesome friend, I got my hands on a PlayStation. So let me link up with you after we're done here. We should actually play video games together now that I'm not just on Steam anymore. That's awesome. Go follow Kurt Clark. He's a very fun guy. I'm Rich Filiberto. I'm DM Philly. This is where I live now. Twitch TV/DM Philly. Thank you guys all for hanging out here. I appreciate it. I'm doing a bunch of stuff, I guess. I'm podcasting with the great Mike Bloom about the Book of Boba Fett. You may have qualms and nits to pick about the name of that show, but if you enjoy Star Wars, there's some really cool stuff going on there these days. Mike and I are also podcasting every week about the Legend of Vox Machina after after the 3 episodes drop, we do a podcast. As Melissa mentioned, we have established a Critter Club, spoiler-filled podcast where we're talking about the Legend of Vox Machina through the lens of people who at least know what happened in Season 1, Campaign 1 of Critical Role. It's a blast. It's been a really good time. We have a Wheel of Time book club coming up in the next week. I covered the Wheel of Time show with Josh Wigler over at Post Show Recaps. We're coming back with a couple of awesome folks. Our dear friend Taylor just recently completed Book 6, which is epic. So don't say anything because we're going to talk about it there. And that's it. We'll be back this Friday at some time, depending on what time zone you live in, with Humble Your Episode 5. The cutest show on Twitch. We're playing the Humblewood D&D rules. I funded that Kickstarter years ago. It's really, really cool. We're a bunch of adorable, cutesy little forest animals on an adventure playing Dungeons and Dragons. So you gotta love it. Melissa plays a tiny little mouse. Grace is one of 2 awesome raccoons. It's really a good time, and you guys should come hang out because it's gonna be a blast. And then, yeah, keep your eye out here on my Twitter. You'll see when I'm doing stuff. That's it. That's all I got. My friends, I think this is where we go. Bye.
Bye.
Now I awkwardly